rejected by Newcastle, and now set to pay 92.5 with 7.5 extra in add-ons. In cricket, England's attempt to move on from a dreadful start to the summer was hit by weather as their first T20 against India was abandoned. 2 days after Test, captain Ben Stokes retired with the game against New Zealand. England got halfway through the opener to a 5-match series against India before rain set in. Recovered India from 6-2 to post 189 for 7 in the first innings, but then heavy rainfall saw the match called off. Elsewhere in Formula 1, Lando Norris has insisted that he has the pain of this year for the glory of last. It's been a bit of a frustration for him this year. He very much McLaren's expectation that it would start 26, unable to set the repeat joy they had in 24-25. That's been realised, but Norris insists there's still a lot of effort to prove that they can compete this year. Elsewhere, in the game with Ireland and Australia in Rugby Union, Sam Prendergast's strong end to the season with Leinster has earned him a recall to the lineup for Saturday's Nations Championship. He lost a fly-half spot to Jack Crowder in the Six Nations, but with him ruled out through injury, he's now back in the fold. While finally into news in tennis, former French Open Mira Andreeva, the champion, broke down in tears as she was knocked out by Barbara Krakovic. She lost 4-6, 7-5, 6-4 before the game with Novak Djokovic. He outclassed her for Tsitsipas in a statement performance, winning 6-3, 6-4, 6-2 in just 98 minutes. That's all in for the latest headlines. Here are your latest sporting headlines. I'm Tom Helm. We'll start with news in football. And with England and Harry Kane's brace was able to spare a huge humiliation as they came from behind to beat DR Congo in Atlanta to reach the last 16. Thomas Tuchel's side were 15 minutes away from an embarrassing exit as DR Congo defended the early lead given to them by Brian Kipenga. It was then Captain Kane came to the rescue by heading home after 75 minutes, but then thrashing home a winner with 4 minutes left. Goalkeeper Lionel Mapsi of Congo made some stunning saves. Young Visser hit the post. In truth, a dreadful performance from England across the night, but they earned their spot against co-host Mexico at the Azteca Stadium in Mexico City on Monday at 1 a.m. Elsewhere, in news with the Belgian game, Yuri Tielemans scored a penalty late in extra time as Belgium produced a sensational comeback from 2 goals down to defeat Senegal. The last gasp victory helped them boost their chances of going all the way. They'll have a last 16 meeting with the United States now. Rudy Garcia's men looked to be heading out after trailing, but 2 goals late on sealed the deal to send it to extra time. Yuri Tielemans then scoring a 125th minute penalty. Elsewhere, and with the news with the United States, Florin Balogun scored and was later sent off as the United States advanced past Bosnia and Herzegovina in Santa Clara to reach the last 16 of the World Cup. Disappointment though, because Balogun is now set to miss the next game, even though a red card looked extremely soft on replays. But he scored the opener. Tillman got the second, as United States will now face Belgium. In domestic football, Vitória Pereira is poised to leave Nottingham Forest, with the club ready to appoint former Crystal Palace boss Oliver Glasner as his successor. Reports suggest that the deal to appoint the Austrian is virtually done, just the formalities left to complete. And Tottenham are set to break their transfer record for a second time this week after agreeing to sign Newcastle United's Sandro Tonali. Previously had an £80 million bid but rejected by Newcastle, and now set to pay 92.5 with 7.5 extra in add-ons. In cricket, England's attempt to move on from a dreadful start to the summer was hit by weather as their first T20 against India was abandoned. 2 days after Test, captain Ben Stokes retired with the game against New Zealand. England got halfway through the opener to a 5-match series against India before rain set in. Recovered India from 6-2 to post 189 for 7 in the first innings, but then heavy rainfall saw the match called off. Elsewhere in Formula 1, Lando Norris has insisted that he has the pain of this year for the glory of last. It's been a bit of a frustration for him this year. He very much McLaren's expectation that it would start 26, unable to set the repeat joy they had in 24-25. That's been realised, but Norris insists there's still a lot of effort to prove that they can compete this year. Elsewhere, in the game with Ireland and Australia in Rugby Union, Sam Prendergast's strong end to the season with Leinster has earned him a recall to the lineup for Saturday's Nations Championship. He lost a fly-half spot to Jack Crowder in the Six Nations, but with him ruled out through injury, he's now back in the fold. While finally into news in tennis, former French Open Mira Andreeva, the champion, broke down in tears as she was knocked out by Barbara Krakovic. She lost 4-6, 7-5, 6-4 before the game with Novak Djokovic. He outclassed Tsitsipas in a statement performance, winning 6-3, 6-4, 6-2 in just 98 minutes. That's all in for the latest headlines. Here are your latest sporting headlines. I'm Tom Helm. We'll start with news in football. And with England and Harry Kane's brace was able to spare a huge humiliation as they came from behind to beat DR Congo in Atlanta to reach the last 16. Thomas Tuchel's side were 15 minutes away from an embarrassing exit as DR Congo defended the early lead given to them by Brian Kipenga. It was then Captain Kane came to the rescue by heading home after 75 minutes, but then thrashing home a winner with 4 minutes left. Goalkeeper Lionel Mapsi of Congo made some stunning saves. Yoon Visser hit the post. In truth, a dreadful performance from England across the night, but they earned their spot against co-host Mexico at the Azteca Stadium in Mexico City on Monday at 1 a.m. Elsewhere, in news with the Belgian game, Yuri Tielemans scored a penalty late in extra time as Belgium produced a sensational comeback from 2 goals down to defeat Senegal. The last gasp victory helped them boost their chances of going all the way. They'll have a last 16 meeting with the United States now. Rudy Garcia's men looked to be heading out after trailing, but 2 goals late on sealed the deal to get sent to extra time. Yuri Tielemans then scoring a 125th minute penalty. Elsewhere, and with the news with the United States, Florian Balogun scored and was later sent off as the United States advanced past Bosnia and Herzegovina in Santa Clara to reach the last 16 of the World Cup. Disappointment though, because Balogun is now set to miss the next game, even though a red card looked extremely soft on replays. But he scored the opener. Tillman got the second, as United States will now face Belgium. In domestic football, Vitória Pereira is poised to leave Nottingham Forest with the club ready to appoint former Crystal Palace boss Oliver Glasner as his successor. Reports suggest that the deal to appoint the Austrian is virtually done, just the formalities left to complete. And Tottenham have set to break their transfer record for a second time this week after agreeing to sign Newcastle United's Sandro Tonali. Previously had an £80 million bid but rejected by Newcastle, and now set to pay 92.5 with 7.5 extra in add-ons. In cricket, England's attempt to move on from a dreadful start to the summer was hit by weather as their first T20 against India was abandoned. 2 days after Test, captain Ben Stokes retired with the game against New Zealand. England got halfway through the opener to a 5-match series against India before rain set in. Recovered did India from 6-2 to post 189 for 7 in the first innings, but then heavy rainfall saw the match called off. Elsewhere in Formula 1, Lando Norris has insisted that he has the pain of this year for the glory of last. It's been a bit of a frustration for him this year. He very much McLaren's expectation that it would start 26, unable to set the repeat joy they had in 24-25. That's been realised, but Norris insists there's still a lot of effort to prove that they can compete this year. Elsewhere, in the game with Ireland and Australia in rugby union, Sam Prendergast's strong end to the season with Leinster has earned him a recall to the line for Saturday's Nations Championship. He lost a fly half spot to Jack Crowder in the Six Nations, but with him ruled out through injury, he's now back in the fold. While finally into news in tennis, former French Open Mira Andreeva, the champion, broke down in tears as she was knocked out by Barbara Krakovic. She lost 4-6, 7-5, 6-4 before the game with Novak Djokovic. He outclassed Tsitsipas in a statement performance, winning 6-3, 6-4, 6-2 in just 98 minutes. That's all in for the latest headlines. Here are your latest sporting headlines. I'm Tom Helm. We'll start with news in football. And with England and Harry Kane's brace was able to spare a huge humiliation as they came from behind to beat DR Congo in Atlanta to reach the last 16. Thomas Tuchel's side were 15 minutes away from an embarrassing exit as DR Congo defended the early lead given to them by Brian Kipenga. It was then Captain Kane came to the rescue by heading home after 75 minutes, but then thrashing home a winner with 4 minutes left. Goalkeeper Lionel Mapsi of Congo made some stunning saves. Yoon Visser hit the post. In truth, a dreadful performance from England across the night, but they earned their spot against co-host Mexico at the Azteca Stadium in Mexico City on Monday at 1 a.m. Elsewhere, in news with the Belgian game, Yuri Tielemans scored a penalty late in extra time as Belgium produced a sensational comeback from 2 goals down to defeat Senegal. The last gasp victory helped them boost their chances of going all the way. They'll have a last 16 meeting with the United States now. Rudy Garcia's men looked to be heading out after trailing, but 2 goals late on sealed the deal to get sent to extra time. Yuri Tielemans then scoring a 125th minute penalty. Elsewhere, and with the news with the the United States. Florin Balogun scored and was later sent off as the United States advanced past Bosnia and Herzegovina and Santa Clara to reach the last 16 of the World Cup. Disappointment though, because Balogun is now set to miss the next game, even though a red card looked extremely soft on replays. But he scored the opener. Tillman got the second, as the United States will now face Belgium. In domestic football, Vitória Pereira is poised to leave Nottingham Forest, with the club ready to appoint former Crystal Palace boss Oliver Glasner as his successor. Reports suggest that the deal to appoint the Austrian is virtually done, just the formalities left to complete. And Tottenham have set to break their transfer record for a second time this week after agreeing to sign Newcastle United's Sandro Tonali. Previously had an £80 million bid but rejected by Newcastle, and now set to pay 92.5 with 7.5 extra in add-ons. In cricket, England's attempt to move on from a dreadful start to the summer was hit by weather as their first T20 against India was abandoned. 2 days after Test, captain Ben Stokes retired with the game against New Zealand. England got halfway through the opener to a 5-match series against India before rain set in. Recovered did India from 6-2 to post 189 for 7 in the first innings, but then heavy rainfall saw the match called off. Elsewhere in Formula 1, Lando Norris has insisted that he has the pain of this year for the glory of last. It's been a bit of a frustration for him this year. He very much Wilcaron's expectation that it would start 26, unable to set the repeat joy they had in 24-25. That's been realised, but Norris insists there's still a lot of effort to prove that they can compete this year. Elsewhere in the game with Ireland and Australia in rugby union, Sam Prendergast's strong end to the season with Leinster has earned him a recall to the lineup for Saturday's Nations Championship. He lost a fly half spot to Jack Crowder in the Six Nations, but with him ruled out through injury, he's now back in the fold. While finally into news in tennis, former French Open Mira Andreeva, the champion, broke down in tears as she was knocked out by Barbara Krajkovic. She lost 4-6, 7-5, 6-4 before the game with Novak Djokovic. He outclassed her for Tsitsipas in a statement performance, winning 6-3, 6-4, 6-2 in just 98 minutes. That's all in for the latest headlines. Here are your latest sporting headlines. I'm Tom Helm. We'll start with news in football. And with England, and Harry Kane's brace was able to spare a huge humiliation as they came from behind to beat DR Congo in Atlanta to reach the last 16. Thomas Tuchel's side were 15 minutes away from an embarrassing exit as DR Congo defended the early lead given to them by Brian Kipenga. It was then Captain Kane came to the rescue by heading home after 75 minutes, but then thrashing home a winner with 4 minutes left. Goalkeeper Lionel Mapsi of Congo made some stunning saves. Yoram Visser hit the post. In truth, a dreadful performance from England across the night, but they earned their spot against co-host Mexico at the Azteca Stadium in Mexico City on Monday at 1 a.m. Elsewhere, in news with the Belgian game, Yuri Tielemans scored a penalty late in extra time as Belgium produced a sensational comeback from 2 goals down to defeat Senegal. The last gasp victory helped them boost their chances of going all the way. They'll have a last 16 meeting with the United States now. Rudy Garcia's men looked to be heading out after trailing, but 2 goals late on sealed the deal to get sent to extra time. Yuri Tielemans then scoring a 125th minute penalty. Elsewhere, and with the news with the United States, Florin Balogun scored and was later sent off as the United States advanced past Bosnia and Herzegovina and Santa Clara to reach the last 16 of the World Cup. Disappointment though, because Balogun is now set to miss the next game, even though a red card looked extremely soft on replays. But he scored the opener. Tillman got the second, as the United States will now face Belgium. In domestic football, Vitória Pereira is poised to leave Nottingham Forest, with the club ready to appoint former Crystal Palace boss Oliver Glasner as his successor. Reports suggest that the deal to appoint the Austrian is virtually done, just the formalities left to complete. And Tottenham have set to break their transfer record for a second time this week after agreeing to sign Newcastle United's Sandro Tonali. Previously had an £80 million bid but rejected by Newcastle, and now set to pay 92.5 with 7.5 extra in add-ons. In cricket, England's attempt to move on from a dreadful start to the summer was hit by weather as their first T20 against India was abandoned. 2 days after Test, captain Ben Stokes retired with the game against New Zealand. England got halfway through the opener to a 5-match series against India before rain set in. Recovered did India from 6-2 to post 189 for 7 in the first innings, but then heavy rainfall saw the match called off. Elsewhere in Formula 1, And Lando Norris has insisted that he has the pain of this year for the glory of last. It's been a bit of a frustration for him this year. He very much McLaren's expectation that it would start 26, unable to set the repeat joy they had in 24-25. That's been realised, but Norris insists there's still a lot of effort to prove that they can compete this year. Elsewhere, in the game with Ireland and Australia in rugby union, Sam Prendergast's strong end to the season with Leinster has earned him a recall to the lineup for Saturday's Nations Championship. He lost a fly half spot to Jack Crowder in the Six Nations, but with him ruled out through injury, he's now back in the fold. While finally into news in tennis, former French Open Mira Andreeva, the champion, broke down in tears as she was knocked out by Barbara Krakovic. She lost 4-6, 7-5, 6-4 before the game with Novak Djokovic. He outclassed her for Tsitsipas in a statement performance, winning 6-3, 6-4, 6-2 in just 98 minutes. That's all in for the latest headlines. Here are your latest sporting headlines. I'm Tom Helm. We'll start with news in football. And with England and Harry Kane's brace was able to spare a huge humiliation as they came from behind to beat DR Congo in Atlanta to reach the last 16. Thomas Tuchel's side were 15 minutes away from an embarrassing exit as DR Congo defended the early lead given to them by Brian Kipenga. He was then Captain Kane came to the rescue by heading home after 75 minutes, but then thrashing home a winner with 4 minutes left. Goalkeeper Lionel Mapsi of Congo made some stunning saves. Yoram Visser hit the post. In truth, a dreadful performance from England across the night, but they earned their spot against co-host Mexico at the Azteca Stadium in Mexico City on Monday at 1 a.m. Elsewhere, in news with the Belgian game, Yuri Tielemans scored a penalty late in extra time as Belgium produced a sensational comeback from 2 goals down to defeat Senegal. The last gasp victory helped them boost their chances of going all the way. They'll have a last 16 meeting with the United States now. Rudy Garcia's men looked to be heading out after trailing, but 2 goals late on sealed the deal to send it to extra time. Yuri Tielemans then scoring a 125th minute penalty. Elsewhere, and with the news with the United States, Florin Barragan scored and was later sent off as the United States advanced past Bosnia and Herzegovina and Santa Clara to reach the last 16 of the World Cup. Disappointment though, because Barragan is now set to miss the next game, even though a red card looked extremely soft on replays. But he scored the opener. Tillman got the second, as the United States will now face Belgium. In domestic football, Vitória Pereira is poised to leave Nottingham Forest, with the club ready to appoint former Crystal Palace boss Oliver Glasner as his successor. Reports suggest that the deal to appoint the Austrian is virtually done, just the formalities left to complete. And Tottenham have set to break their transfer record for a second time this week after agreeing to sign Newcastle United's Sandro Tonali. Previously had an £80 million bid but rejected by Newcastle, and now set to pay 92.5 with 7.5 extra in add-ons. In cricket, England's attempt to move on from a dreadful start to the summer was hit by weather as their first T20 against India was abandoned. 2 days after the test, captain Ben Stokes retired with the game against New Zealand. England got halfway through the opener to a 5-match series against India before rain set in. Recovered India from 6-2 to post 189 for 7 in the first innings, but then heavy rainfall saw the match called off. Elsewhere in Formula 1, and Lando Norris has insisted that he has the pain of this year for the glory of last. It's been a bit of a frustration for him this year. He very much McLaren's expectation that it would start 26, unable to set the repeat joy they had in 24-25. That's been realised, but Norris insists there's still a lot of effort to prove that they can compete this year. Elsewhere, in the game with Ireland and Australia in rugby union, Sam Prendergast's strong end to the season with Leinster has earned him a recall to the lineup for Saturday's Nations Championship. He lost a fly half spot to Jack Crowder in the Six Nations, but with him ruled out through injury, he's now back in the fold. While finally into news in tennis, former French Open Mira Andreeva, the champion, broke down in tears as she was knocked out by Barbara Krakovic. She lost 4-6, 7-5, 6-4 before the game with Novak Djokovic. He outclassed her for Tsitsipas in a statement performance, winning 6-3, 6-4, 6-2 in just 98 minutes. That's all in for the latest headlines. Here are your latest sporting headlines. I'm Tom Helm. We'll start with news in football. And with England and Harry Kane's brace was able to spare a huge humiliation as they came from behind to beat DR Congo in Atlanta to reach the last 16. Thomas Tuchel's side were 15 minutes away from an embarrassing exit as DR Congo defended the early lead given to them by Brian Kipenga. He was then Captain Kane came to the rescue by heading home after 75 minutes, but then thrashing home a winner with 4 minutes left. Goalkeeper Lionel Mapsi of Congo made some stunning saves. Young Visser hit the post. In truth, a dreadful performance from England across the night, but they earned their spot against co-host Mexico at the Azteca Stadium in Mexico City on Monday at 1 a.m. Elsewhere, in news with the Belgian game, Yuri Tielemans scored a penalty late in extra time as Belgium produced a sensational comeback from 2 goals down to defeat Senegal. The last cast victory helped them boost their chances of going all the way. They'll have a last 16 meeting with the United States now. Rudy Garcia's men looked to be heading out after trailing, but 2 goals late on sealed the deal to send it to extra time. Yuri Tielemans then scoring a 125th minute penalty. Elsewhere, and with the news with the United States, Florin Barragan scored and was later sent off as the United States advanced past Bosnia and Herzegovina in Santa Clara to reach the last 16 of the World Cup.
Just the fact that I think they're a bit above the level of dark horses, to be frank. And they're such an attacking-minded team. A ball across going to be an early Colombia corner looking for Diaz on the near side. But they are such an exciting team going forward, the Colombians. I think for Switzerland, the fact that Colombia have only conceded 1 goal, they haven't trailed in the tournament, means that I think if Switzerland want joy tonight, as obvious as it sounds, they need to score first.
100%. I think you're spot on with that. And as well, I think there'll be a lot of chances. Goals are different stories. And I think Colombia, great defence. I think Swiss, a great defence. Corbell's a top. He's one of the best goalkeepers. I think he's quite underrated as a Dortmund man, if we're being bluntly honest. Early corner here coming up for Colombia in the first half. Swiss going in all red from left to right. Ball into the boxes. Nodded away. Will Davinson Sanchez keep it in play? He will, but loses possession and gives away quite a cheap foul as well, it has to be said. The centre-back there. It's either a throw-in or a cheap foul. I'm not too sure. Let's say Switzerland going from left to right in the all red. Hint of white. Colombia right to left in the yellow jerseys. White shorts and socks to boot. At the back with Akanji. A lot of experience, of course, for the former Manchester City man. I know he was on loan at Inter Milan last year, trying to, not sure if that's a permanent deal, if he's off back to the Etihad. Of course, new management with Enzo Maresca. You might like to see how he is, if it's not a already done deal. Back to Corbell, switches it quickly to Xhaka. Of course, there's a lot of experience in this Swiss side. Freuler, Xhaka, Rodriguez, seems like they've been around forever in all the best ways. It is out to the left side to Rodriguez, into the box, strike comes in straight at the goalkeeper. All eyes on if it was a possible offside, but Ndoye with that first strike, it was on target but won't count as the flag does go up. A nice move, neat move from Switzerland, and he is on very close. He's just offside, maybe his left or right boot, just a little bit off there. But again, both defences are very much on top, and it could take that mistake at the back or that little bit of individual brilliance. We're seeing pictures, Manzambi missing 3 goals, 2 assists at the tournament. Massive miss for the Swiss.
It's huge. He brings so much goal contribution. Such a fantastic midfielder as well, the Freiburg man. Very good player, of course, linked to the Premier League as well. So the big teams already sniffing around for him, the 20-year-old. He's a massive miss for them, but they have to get on with it. It's going to be a free kick here deep in their own half for Switzerland. There's a man down at the back, maybe Elvedi. There's a late one going in, so you're not missing anything. It's Luis Suarez going in late, the sporting man. The only change for Colombia. Cordoba makes the bench. But yeah, it's a massive miss for Switzerland, but they can only deal with what they've got in front of them. And like I say, they need to probably score first to be successful in this game. I mean, how many times? We've seen the record before. How many times have they gone out in the last round of 16? It's the last 3 World Cups. They got the quarterfinals in 2014, of course, but starting to be known as the team that goes out in the round of 16. They don't want to fall into that once again, and we don't want to obviously speak too soon, but obviously, like you mentioned, they're going to be meeting Argentina in the next round, who don't look like they're hitting the biggest stride they can possibly can either. So are Argentina there for the taking? I wouldn't say yes, but they're not playing as strong as they normally do. So there's a chance for either of these 2 teams.
Well, I think they'll watch that game earlier and gone, if we beat the team in front of us this afternoon, we like our chances against the holders of the World Cup. And I say holders, they are, of course, but they nearly were knocked out. They were 15 minutes away from being knocked out. Switzerland still strong on the ball. Zakaria into Freuler. A lot of possession early on for the Swiss. Ball in behind, looking for a runner there. Played well by Lucchimi into Diaz. Does he knock it off to Zakaria and win a throw-in? I believe he does. No, he doesn't, the referee. It was very close. Diaz isn't happy with it. He wants to throw in, quite clearly, from his reaction. But at the moment, 8 minutes in, Switzerland having most of the ball, about 70%. What I do like about Colombia is they can do both. They can get on the ball possession, they can sit back, sit deep. Their squad is, and then their starting 11 can do really anything it needs to do. And Bolo, good hold-up play, 1-2. Here come the Swiss. Good tackle from Arias there. Skips away from his man. Looks to float it out to Diaz on the left-hand side. And what they do have is they've got pace in behind to Colombia. Into Puerta. Back to Mojica. He does well to get there in front of him. Bolo is still under a lot of pressure. He's the left back. Does really well to put that almost through the legs there of a rider. And Colombia come over the ball. Bobbles over James Rodriguez's right boot, but still come away with it to Colombia. Munoz, of course, ever impressive with the Crystal Palace man. 2 goals in his first 2 games of the tournament, and you always feel he's a goal threater. Coming forward is the right back. He's given a lot more license as well. Rodriguez twisting and turning, just in a circle there. Nothing of real coming there. Rodriguez, I think he trips himself up, and the referee this evening is the social media sensation, quite a little bit. Ivan Bart on the El Salvador official for his call on the Miguel Almiron red card for Paraguay and Turkey. So I can imagine that. I covered that game. I thought he officiated fantastically as well. I know that was the talking point from it, but he does love a few cards as well, does the official. Puerta loses out there, wants to take it off of Xhaka, but we all know how well he just keeps the ball, or just gets his body in the way and wins a foul for his side. Just approaching 10 minutes on the clock here in Vancouver. Switzerland having it on the edge of the area. Xhaka so press resistant. Zakaria plays it forward and Bolo rolls it off to Ashari. Great tackle once again there from Arias, the former Wolves man. You'd think it's if you watched him for just over a year ago at the back end of the 2025, you'd think this is a different John Arias. He's looked absolutely fantastic in this tournament so far. Rodriguez into Arias, and at the moment both teams not really it's early on, I'm not expecting them to do it's knockout football, but you just feel that the Swiss look really confident on the ball. Colombia are on it right now, but they look a bit more frantic. They're always getting the heads up to look for that ball, whereas the Swiss, they're happy just to knock it around a bit more.
Yeah, they're the more the patient of the two, the methodical of the Swiss and the way they play football. Like you say, the Colombia like to be a bit more aggressive. They like to use the pace. They like to work it as hard as they can, use the wide men. So they always do look a bit more intense and frantic. That was a long ball from Davinson Sanchez, who we've been singing his praises, but that was a loose pass over to the near side that's gone over Diaz's head. That'll be a throw-in near side. But I think it's been a well-balanced game. I think that's what we expected coming in. It's been only 11 minutes, of course, but two teams at the minute looking, even blows, shall we say, but no one really have stretched in behind just yet. Like you say, knockout football, you're not going to show your hand too early. So I think one thing we will expect, and it's happening at the minute, Luis Suarez is down holding his leg. I think we're going to see a lot of foul scraps coming together, even if it's not a foul. I think there's going to be a lot of players asking for free kicks. I think that midfield's going to get very physical as well.
I can imagine. So basically, if you want to say Jashari joins Freuler and Xhaka midfield free up against Puerta, Lerma and Arias, there's a lot of bite and a lot of grit in that midfield. Sanchez nods it forward. Diaz goes up to win it in the air. Arias will come away with it, pokes it forward. Well intercepted there by Kanji. And as Nathan rightfully said, it's more that the Swiss, you can just feel it's more of a calm, composed, very patient, probing, if you will. Whereas Colombia, they have got that little bit of franticness about them. Mojica plays it along down the left-hand side. Diaz will come away over it. Is he taking it down there? Yes, he is. Good little flick over the head of Elvedi there. And what's important there, Elvedi, he knows what he's doing, and it's more gets in the way. And Diaz does so well, because I believe it's Zakaria who realistically goes behind him. He would have probably come away with the ball. So this is that first opportunity from a free kick, and you've got the likes of James Rodriguez. Arias is a good set piece taker. Puerta is as well, and then you've got Lucchini and Sanchez in the middle. An opportunity early on for Colombia to at least test the keeper, perhaps.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was clumsy from Elvedi, to be honest. The ball kicked up, I can see why he's gone for it, but I think it's really clumsy. Diaz saw him coming, very clever from the former Liverpool man, and now who else? You've got James Rodriguez over a free kick.
It will be very wide on the left-hand side. He'll be getting sharp on his boots. Basically, will the former Real Madrid man swings a decent ball in. It's headed, still in the area. Lerma with the header on goal. Cobel comes out. Big, strong goalkeeping there from the Dortmund man, the Swiss number 1, trying to get it going quickly, bowls it out to Xhaka. It's forced to go back to Kanji. And that's what I think what Lerma does well there. It probably will go down as a shot on target, I think, and a save, if you will. But all he was trying to do is just kind of loop it back into a dangerous area. And we spoke about Shobia had a great game for Egypt in the last game. He came out one balls. If you're Switzerland, we know Kobel's a great goalkeeper, but you had 2 big Colombian defenders next to him, and he came out and just bodied both of them. That'll give you a lot of confidence. I think it'll give Kobel confidence. Bring Nathan in a moment, ball into the box. It's put wide for a corner by Munoz. That was a decent ball. It had to be dealt with, and now a corner for Switzerland.
Yeah, it's been fairly... It has been an even game, really, hasn't it? Colombia have had their corner. Now it's the Swiss' time to have theirs. Opening up ever so slightly there, just a bit suspect of the game just sort of slightly getting a bit more stretched than the close of the gates from both sides we've seen in the opening 13 or so minutes. But it's starting to open up, which we will see at some point, big time, of course. Some fantastic players out there, so you know that quality will shine at some point. It's just who's going to strike first.
I think you're right there. It's cliche as it comes, but you are spot on. It will be an outswing. It's a good delivery headed away by Sanchez. Opportunity if Diaz can get there. Diaz won't get there, but there will be a foul on the edge of the area. James Rodriguez brought down. Might even be Fowler again who was involved. No, it was Ricardo Rodriguez who brings down James Rodriguez on Rodriguez. It's just one of them, isn't it? You watch this back as well from the skipper. I think it's a great delivery, if I'm honest. I think it's a great header from Elvedi. And again, Lerma just gets above his man. He's just looking, Lucchini and Sanchez both. He's like, can I just get it in there? Can someone get a nick on it? Does the keeper make a mistake there? And I think that's what Colombia are all about. Great players, but they always want to just put you under pressure and then respond to that a little bit sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely right with the Lerma. He does right not just going for heading it at goal, because the keeper will probably mop that up. It's hard because if he headed it flat and hard, there's more of a chance. There's less time for the keeper to react. He's looped it in there, so the keeper's going to mop it up all day. I'm still going to give him his flowers for heading it back across, but that's a lovely back heel. Colombia on the counter.
Down the left-hand side, looking for Diaz. Can he come away with it? Elvedi looking clumsy for a moment, but then really held it well to come away with the ball. Man, I say come with the ball, he does boot it away. In the end, Lerma looking to bring it away. Arias, nice first touch. I think he complements Lerma so well in the midfield. It's almost that Arias is playing on the right-hand side, and then it's Puerta and Lerma with Puerta. But it's almost that Rodriguez giving that free roll, but Arias just does so much in those forward areas. And he's on the right-hand side and he's on the inside. And I think it's because they know they've got Daniel Munoz. You've got that full-back who you will give. Mojica will sit a little bit. Munoz will fly up and down. So it's almost Arias. You're on that right-hand side and Rodriguez in the middle. But you're giving that free roll on the right-hand side a little bit. And I can only imagine as a Rodriguez, a fullback, when you don't know where your man is, that's very awkward in a man-to-man world of pressing.
Yeah, absolutely. And we were so high of compliments for Colombia, not just last game when we covered the Ghana game, but in the tournament. And the one that sticks out, they all complement each other as a whole in the 11, but Arias, Lerma and Puerta in that midfield, so much energy, so much pressing, and they all offer different things. You know, we've seen Arias, and that goal, the winning goal he scored against Ghana was absolutely top tier, wasn't it? First time effort into the bottom corner side foot, so he likes to box crash. Puerta's got the energy to go forwards and back, and Lerma's, as we know from his Palace time, is a holding midfielder as a defender. So you're absolutely right, they all complement each other in there. So just a well-set, balanced team of 11 players, but that midfield in particular, absolutely top tier.
It's a good battle so far as well. Sanchez, ball over the top. Zakaria does well to hold Diaz and Mojica off, and he does extremely well as he'll hold off the fullback in the end, and he'll trickle out for a goal kick. 17 minutes on the clock. It's goalless so far. Unofficial independent off-tube studio commentary of all the action. Switzerland 0, Colombia 0. The winner of this tie, of course, the last round of 16 clash, will face Argentina. Will it be an all-South American affair, or will it be the Swiss looking to roll over Argentina in the quarter finals? Xhaka just inside his own half on the left-hand side into Rodriguez. He just puts it, and Ndoye was there as well. As soon as Ndoye made the run, that's when Xhaka made the pass. It's overhit for Rodriguez, underhit for Ndoye. I think Ndoye would have been able to get it as well, it has to be said. Sanchez back for Vargas, and now Colombia have the opportunity, and this is what they can do. They are happy to have the ball. Colombia, they're happy to hold off. Neither team are pressing really high in the opening stages of the game. Unless the goalkeeper has the ball. Nice ball into the feet of Suarez. Looks to fizz it out to Diaz on the left-hand side, but a good clearance from Zakaria will clear it away. Diaz yet to really feature the Bayern Munich man. What a season he's had. He's had a great season at Liverpool as well, but since moving to Bayern Munich, I just think he's gone to another level. Mojica, halfway into his own half on the left-hand side, throwing into Arias, just nods it back to Lerma, who will switch a ball to his club teammate, Munoz. Into Rodriguez, who's dropped a little bit deeper on this right-hand side. Lerma, back to his skipper, looking for passing options. Arias, this is 1-2 football here. Munoz, I thought he could have unleashed it down the line, back to Rodriguez. Lerma, into Arias, the former Wolves man. Munoz. Colombia at the moment, they're maybe taking the sting out of the Swiss so far. Of course, as I said, this is the last round of 16 game. I can imagine for a lot of the, for myself, I can imagine Nathan, all of our colleagues, no football tomorrow. That will feel all so weird, won't it? But back at it on Thursday evening, of course. On ball to the right-hand side, nodded down for Arias. They have to defend that well because it would have gone out for a corner. And Doy, he's in his own corner flag. He's been pressed down, hounded down, but looks so calm. Xhaka goes back to Elvedi and Copal. Thankfully, no one was really hounding them down because of big miscommunication in terms of who was going to come away with the ball there. But you see Colombia, they're almost getting put in those areas, testing Switzerland, seeing what they're all about. And at the moment, Colombia with the ball, they're confident with it. They've got players who can unpick and unlock a defence. Puerta into Diaz. Rodriguez, 1-2 back to the Bayern Munich man. Of course, James Rodriguez, former Bayern Munich man, spent a few seasons on loan there. Whilst he was at Real Madrid, won a few Bundesligas. Sanchez. At the moment, it's Switzerland who are doing the defending, but again, no one 20 minutes on the clock goalless in Vancouver yet to take a big risk so far.
No, I think Switzerland are fairly happy with not having the ball, to be honest. I think they came in that with a game plan thinking Colombia like to have the ball and we'll let them have it. They haven't got it in a dangerous area. They haven't really unlocked it, is like you say, taking a risk. Colombia, they've been on the ball, they've been moving it around in the midfield area. They're yet to really unlock them forward runs that they like to do. We may just see one now. Ball in centre slightly sloppy. That's a loose tackle by Rodriguez, but play continues.
Play does continue. Lerma to the left-hand side into Puerta, edge of the area. Curling effort saved well by Cobel out for a corner, and that's what Colombia do. And I think when it gets chaotic, gets gritty, that's where the South American side really shine. I think it's what he should say, but it's a great curling effort from Puerta.
Yeah, I thought there was a foul in the beginning of that from a Colombia man. Play was continued. A lovely wrap to the back post. I think what it was for Cobel, such a top quality keeper, he knew what was coming. He knew he was going to wrap that, and he got up early and then he sprung out with the elbows and then put it behind with both hands. It's a smart save. It is one you'd probably expect a man of his standards to make, but I honestly thought it'd been a foul in the build up to that, but corner kick nonetheless.
I thought James Rodriguez went in and I thought it was a foul by him, and I thought the referee was going to blow. I think if anything, actually maybe gave Colombia the advantage, because he definitely gave an advantage. Ball swung into the front post, headed away. Decent delivery from the skipper, James Rodriguez, you'd have to say. Feels like he puts on that Superman cape whenever he puts on that yellow Colombian jersey. He's been around so many teams since 12 years ago. He shone at the World Cup, of course. Got that big money move to Real Madrid from Monaco after making his name in Porto, in Portugal. And went to Bayern Munich, as I said on loan, of course. Spent a year in Everton. And again, just being here, there and everywhere. I'm sure he played in Greece, gone to Abu Dhabi as well. He's been everywhere as the Colombian skipper, but then he puts on the Colombian jersey and it just looks like he's back to normal. I remember watching him a few years ago in the Copa America, and again he just looked like a player who hasn't missed a step. You do feel as well that just like every player, play for your country, it just goes to another level sometimes. Lerma 1-2 with Puerta, great play. Puerta driving forward, he goes in to win the tackle. I think he's very lucky that Akanji kind of just takes a touch and ball away. Great battle there between Lucchini and Embolo. Now this game's really opening up. Diaz looks to poke it forward for Suarez. But now the game, just over 20 minutes. I think that first big chance, sometimes it takes that, doesn't it? That first big chance, that play on target. They're knocking it around Colombia now. Switzerland may be feeling the pressure a little bit. I'm not too sure. That should be a foul on Xhaka. Was it by Puerta? I think it was Puerta going through the back of him. It was. So again, I mean, we spoke about that. I think that's one I could imagine Xhaka fouling Puerta later on as well. There will just be a hydration break as well. 23 minutes on the clock, so you're not missing anything. Goalless in Vancouver. But sometimes it's just that first big chance, and then the game it just opens up because you get that one out of the way, the keeper gets a save, Colombia feel the confidence, they're coming forward, and then the Swiss kind of go, oh, okay, we can't just sit back, we have to kind of respond a little bit.
Yeah, it reminds me of boxing on the early rounds, when there's the jabs and they're feeling each other out, and then someone lays in with a big hit, and then he replies with a big hit as well. That's sort of what it reminds me of. It's similar here. I think the opening 15 minutes or so, both teams were like, okay, let's see what each other are about. Colombia open Swiss up a little bit, and Swiss think, right, we need to get on the front foot then if Colombia are going to do that to us. And again, I'd say it's been a fairly even first quarter of the match. I think I'd just edge it to Colombia. What I love about Colombia is they're not scared to move the ball in very tight corridors, and they're very good at it as well. And they take balls into brave areas where probably teams would probably be a bit anxious about taking a ball in case they get tackled, whereas they're so comfortable in and around the opposition that they move it very, very well. Defensively, you can see why they've only conceded one goal in this tournament. They're so comfortable, aren't they? It's so good. Switzerland, on the other hand, I think they'll be fairly happy with what they've seen. They faced the one effort from the edge of the box, so they're not exactly broken through. That's that red unit, and Cobel was, of course, equal to it, pushing it around the post. But I think in the opening 24 minutes, it's probably what we would have expected so far.
I think you're right with that, 100%. Again, if you aren't joining us, you're not missing anything. It's just in the hydration break. Probably got another 90 seconds or so to go. But I think you're right. They're happy to, when they get to a certain position, Colombia out the right, let's get the 1-2 quick passing going. If we lose it, we're high up into the opposition side. They're not doing this in their own penalty area either, but they're not just lumping along every time. They will play it with the centre backs. They will fizz it into the feet. I think they've been, as you said, I think you're right. Dark horses is a little bit of it's a backhanded compliment, is it? Because that's what they maybe are, but they definitely are dark horses anymore. I think they've been excellent at this tournament so far, and definitely one of my favourites to watch. Was, as I said myself and Nathan covered them against Ghana. Only 1-0, but probably should have been more, if we're being bluntly honest. 0-0 draw against Portugal. I think they should have beaten Portugal. Saw them against Uzbekistan. They were great there. And if I'm right, I might have even covered most, if not all, of the Colombian games. So that's been something to, when you see good games. DR Congo, yes, so I actually have covered all the Colombian games. So perhaps I'm a good luck charm, who knows. I've covered no Swiss games yet though, so maybe I don't know. But we are just about to get back underway following this hydration break. 26 minutes, we're about to take over. I think this game is just getting into gear. It's a knockout stage, as we all accept it. Just take that little bit more tension. You don't want to make a mistake. Colombia finding their groove, but Switzerland, let's be quite fair, very much in it. It's goalless. All to play for, seeing the Switzerland and the Colombian fans. Great atmosphere in Vancouver this Tuesday evening. Of course, here for us, it's just about 9:30, give or take, local time. I believe they're 7 or 8 hours behind us in Vancouver. 26 minutes on the clock. We are back underway. Switzerland have the ball. Unofficial, independent, off-tube studio commentary of all the action of this last round of 16 clash. The winner to face Argentina. And I'll take you over to Nathan to take us through to half-time.
Thanks, Raf. As Alvedi has it, edge of his own box, right hand side of his own D, as we get back underway for the second quarter. Very American of me, isn't it? Second quarter of the game. After the hydration break, Alvedi just studs on the ball back to Cobel, and then over to Manuel Akanji, top left hand corner of his own box. Stood still at the minute, happy just to sit on it. Maybe a bit of control for the Swiss now as he whips to the near side. Dennis Zakaria. Luis Diaz hot on his heels, so he's had to go backwards. The press is very sharp when it needs to be for Colombia. Alvedi, no interest in putting the ball forward just yet. Back to Cobel. 27 on the clock, 0-0. Unofficial independent off-tube studio commentary. Akanji out the left side of his own area to the far side to Rodriguez. It's a good ball forward to Xhaka, who just opens his body up to Suleiman, and he's been fouled by Jefferson Lerma, the number 16. Come across his man, and Xhaka was very savvy there. He opened up like he was going to put it down the line and then dropped his right shoulder. Lerma comes across him, takes him down. Premier League midfielder on Premier League midfielder there. And it's just with Xhaka once again. Such an important player, not just for Sunderland, but for his country as well, the captain. Inside it goes. Chip to the near side, Dennis Zakaria. Moving forward, the fill-in right back. He's going to drive narrowly inside. Ball in front. Oh, it's not a bad attempt either. It almost found his man in the midfield. It was a brilliant ball inside, just a step ahead of his man. Trying to see exactly who he was aiming for. It might have been Jashari. the number 14, just trying to find a pocket on the diagonal, just a yard or two in front of him, or he would have been bearing in on goal. There's a ball at the back with Xhaka. Uncharacteristic gap in the defence for Colombia then, but credit to Switzerland for nearly exploiting it. It's just in the centre with Freuler. Of course, already got a foul under his name. That's Twinkle Toes, though, and Bolo back to goal, holding it up. He's going to move to the far side. Time for the Swiss to try and fleck the attacking muscles. Daniel Munoz with a brilliant slide. Throw in far side for Switzerland. Much better going forward by them.
Yeah, much better. As you said, they're very patient with it, but it's when they need to go from that patience to the quick build-up, and that was much better at that time. It was that crisp, and sometimes that's what it takes. But we know Freuler's got that in his bag as well, that he can take it past a few players. He's a great progressor of the ball, and when you have got Colombia, who almost go man to man as Luis Diaz just charges through the back there of is that Xhaka. He's only brought down 2 or 3 times now. Xhaka hasn't he? You can see it a mile away. Sometimes you need to beat that one player, then that other defender comes out. That makes a bit of space. So you just need to be a bit brave sometimes. Similar to as you say Colombia do, 1-2, take it past your man. That space opens up. Switzerland, I just think sometimes are too slow on the ball, because when they move it well, you can see exactly what they've got in the locker.
Yeah. Absolutely. Akanji zips inside. That's a lovely midfield splitting pass. Chance to get forward here. The touches are just overstretched, and it was a waste in the midfield. It was a lovely ball to him on that far side. There's a shot's going to come in. First shot, great save. It was at the back by Vargas, who had to be alert to it as well. It happened out of shin. Nothing. Half an hour on the clock. It was a great save, though. First real attack for Swiss. And then a ball to the far post. Is it going to be kept in far side by Ndoye? It is, headed back across and into Vargas' hands. But I tell you what, it came out of absolutely nothing. Fabian Ryder, he's on that left-hand side as well as he was played through. The angle was against him, and it was pretty much at him. A save you'd expect to be made.
Oh, you'd expect him to make it. Just how he kind of sliced it in the best ways. He kind of sliced it underneath him, didn't he? And that came from just the defending not being good enough from Colombia. They won the ball, and a bit lackadaisical in clearing it, and then I think they cleared it off the Swiss man. Fell kindly for Ryder, of course, but yeah, you maybe think could he fit that bit maybe low, a bit driven, instead of it similar to Messi's penalty. He put it into a good area for the keeper to save. You want to go a little bit higher or lower to really test the keeper.
Yeah, it was too hot to handle, but he got it away from goal, Vargas. As man hits the deck, no free kick given. Very physical start to this game in the opening half an hour, but still 0-0. A shot apiece on goal. Finally balanced game. Just when Colombia looked like they had the edge, Switzerland have come out very positively after the hydration break and have a good solid 4 or 5 minutes with the ball. Akanji, far side of the centre, left to right they come. It's in a good couple of defence passes out of defence through the midfield from the Swiss. Back it goes to Lerma, who's going to clip it forward. Is that a free kick in the midfield? It is, on a Colombian man. James Rodriguez hits the deck. The captain, Xhaka's saying his piece, not happy with it, but there's been a few, is probably an understatement, of them late sort of kick-outs and free kicks given, which will tot up at some point, you would like to believe.
No, you're spot on there. I'm not always a massive fan of the accumulation of a yellow card, but maybe when you get, which could happen in this game, you get 5 or 6 fouls, that's the difference. And I think when you get, that's your 3rd foul, that doesn't mean it's a yellow card. Here come the Swiss.
Dan Ndoye going to go for goal on an angle once again, a bit more of a harsher angle as well, and he went low this time. That was a savvy little effort by the Forest man. We'll get a replay of it. On that left foot, he was closed down, but he struck it well across goal. Keeper got down again. One he should be making. This time he gets hold of it. Well, that's a couple of openings there for the Swiss in a matter of the same amount of minutes.
Oh, they've got to be careful, haven't they? They've got to be careful there, nearly. Suarez reading the play. What I will say is that front three, if you want to count Arias on the right side, so much work rate as well as the technical ability, haven't they? So they've got to be careful. I think it's one of them where we've had a lot of these games, because this is where we're getting to the real quality in the World Cup. No offence to some of the group stage games where it is just one team will have momentum, try and take advantage. The other team will have momentum, won't they? It's not a full, this is going to be full 90 minutes of this. But both teams will have maybe 5-10 minutes here, 5-10 minutes there. Poor play out from Switzerland, and now forward come Colombia.
On the left-hand side, they've got a man over in Luis Diaz. He's on the left side of the box. Can he go for goal? He has. It's blocked right in front of him. And play will resume as he moves it backwards. It's good defending, actually, to close that angle. Ball inside. Now it's Colombia's chance to come forward. Diaz is on the move, but it's moved over to Lerma, centrally in the Swiss half, and then over to the far side. Going to hook across out to the back post. Man, it's the deck. But it will be a goal kick in the end. And it's just one way and then the next. And it sounds very cliche, but it does feel like there's an air of a boxing match between these two.
Oh, 100%. Watching it back as well, I don't think it's a foul by Elvedi on Diaz at all. I think it's very clumsy, though, is what I would have to say. That it is very clumsy. Of course, Diaz getting that shot off that was blocked at source. So I'm not quite. He's one of them, isn't it? You know what you're trying to do. You know, you're trying to open up his body and curl it. So you can see it from a mile away what he was trying to do there, and it just never worked. But going back to that foul, it's just that Elvedi's got his arm on him and does have a bit of the pull of the shirt. It's not a penalty at all, but it is one where you've got to go, look, the referee's going to keep an eye on you now, so you've got to be very careful and look as well. Luis Diaz, he's a clever forward. He knows how to get those fouls. He knows how to win those free kicks and win those penalties. But you are right about the fouls. They are just trotting up, and thankfully for us so far, they're trotting up in a way that it's not stopping the flow of the game, though, thankfully.
Yeah, absolutely. It'd be a goal kick. Dennis Zakaria working hard to try and get something started. One thing I will say is the Swiss have had shown promise, as well as Colombia. But I think for them, Breel Mbolo hasn't been in the game a lot. The joy they've had has come from the wings, whether that's down to Lukumi and Davinson Sanchez doing their job, but for me they need to get Mbolo in the game more, as they look to get Suarez in the game. A ball through, nearly got through to Diaz, making that diagonal run, and that's been checked off. Dan Ndoye will carry it clear. This game's just knocked up one notch, and that's a brilliant ball over the top for Dan Ndoye. He's in a foot race with Jefferson Lerma, who comes across unbelievably. The number 16 gets across his man and wins the ball. Brilliant from the Palace man. Went stride for stride with Dan Ndoye, threw his body across him to win the ball on the slide. It doesn't get any better than that for a holding midfielder.
Oh, that was perfect from Lerma. I think he's so underrated. He's a Crystal Palace man. If I'm Crystal Palace, I know you've got Adam Wharton. I'm looking at, can I partner Puerta with him? Can I do that? Because that's a great duo, isn't it, in the middle of two national players. But Lerma, he's big physical. He's not a lump in the middle like a lot of players. He's very, very physical, but he's got a lot of pace about him. I really like this Colombian squad, but right now, as you said, it's back and forth, and they're coming forward again, Colombia.
What a ball into the box on a diagonal chance, pull it backwards, and there's just a man there, he's offside in the end, who I'm believed to be Daniel Munoz, who is the top scorer for Colombia in this World Cup, with 2 goals. Can you believe? Diaz, Arias and Campas with the others, one apiece there. Munoz just strayed right in front of the linesman. There's no getting away with that one. But yeah, he's got himself a brace, and top scorer, the fullback, absolutely brilliant. He's almost one of the furthest forward at all times, Daniel Munoz. He's worked so hard down that right flank for Colombia. I'll tell you one thing though, from a football neutral and a football fan, if it's 0-0 and you're enjoying the game, I think that reeks to the quality you do see in front of you. And what we're seeing is 2 very savvy, disciplined football teams trying to break each other down.
100%. And like you say, sometimes you see 0-0s and you just go, oh, that was poor quality. And it's one of them as well, the quality in the final third isn't bad. I just think the defending is also very good. That's the difference, isn't it? How many, we cover a lot of games, how many times do you go, oh, that's just poor defensively, but then the forward play is really poor as well. When you get to this elite level of national football, it's never that kind of thing, is it? Arias coming forward now, he's done so well. I'm surprised referee might not have pulled that back. But again, Colombia, they're more taking the risks out there, and you're just waiting for, if one pays off, they'll get a really big chance from it.
Yeah, you feel like if the ball hits the back of net for either of these 2 teams, this game comes alive.
Yes.
In the best way. It's still fantastic though, as Elvedi has at the back. We just saw Philippe Senderos in the stands, of course. You probably call him a Switzerland national legend, probably. I think so. His Arsenal days, of course. An established Premier League defender. Bit of a pull on Xhaka in the centre there, but he shrugged off 2 men. He's done well there. In the midfield, did you read it? And it's moved inside to the number 14 as he moves it from near side to far side. Jashari just standing on the ball and slowing it down. So we're about 8 minutes away from the mandatory 45 being done. It's 0 apiece. Both teams have had a chance each, really. But finally balanced, and he may just come open up now as the ball stabbed through, looking for Diaz, and he may just knock. I don't think he was second best against Elvedi, and it's going to go back to Cobble. Luis Diaz slaps his thighs in a bit of a frustration, because I think he feels like that ball didn't need to be overhit. He used the outside of his boot with the sort of Travella pass that killed back into Elvedi, and then he played it back. Don't know whether it's the game's been stopped or not, because we're at the mercy of the broadcast and we don't actually know what's going on. They're not showing it at the minute. It may have been an offside, I'm not quite sure. But Either way, I think that pass didn't need to be overhit.
That's the problem. It didn't need to be. It was a bit of a rush pass, wasn't it? And then that's why it was overhit. But as you rightfully say, it didn't need to be overhit. As you say, it's 0-0. It's 38 minutes of the clock's absolutely flown by. Some of them were looking at the clock and going, "Oh wow, we've still got another 10 minutes left." We've got another 10 minutes left. Fantastic. But it's flown by so far. And I just think as well, I spoke about the first chance coming that opens the game up. As well, that first mistake as well, doesn't it? Maybe you can target someone, and as you rightfully said, it's cliche as it is. I always say as well, the goal will change the game. Rodriguez as well. Here come Colombia.
On this near side, they move to the edge of the box. Just opens up slightly. Shot comes in, blocked right in front of him. And Daniel Munoz will look to recycle. Back to Sanchez, right side of centre. Just when you think there's an opening for a team, the door just slams shut right at the last minute. Be kept in on the far touchline just about. Munoz dancing around on that byline as he gets the white turf on his boots. As it comes into the box, not dealt with, looking for a bicycle, comes to the edge of the box. Is that a high boot? Shot comes in, it's snatched at by the number 14 Puerta, and it will be a goal kick. Actually, it got sliced all the way to the far side when Munoz actually kept it in. And I think it's gone for a Colombia corner, can you believe?
I mean, you spoke about the work rate there. That just sums it up, doesn't it? Watching it back here.
No, he's pulled out a bit.
He pulls his right leg back. I think if he goes for it, I think you're right, it definitely is a high boot. Then Puerta, unfortunately, as he gets his body in the way, the ball just doesn't fall kindly for him. Corner taken quickly.
It's a short one, ball back across, and it's come off a Swiss man. Arias trying to play it back in, so back-to-back corners in a matter of seconds for the Colombians. Big lads are still in there. I just think they need to whip this into the box and test out that physicality at the back, to be honest. Referee's just having to do a bit of organising here. Nothing's happening. And I think he's actually overturned this. How many times have we seen it in the tournament now? It's actually a very good decision to overturn it as well. They can't overturn if it's been given as a goal kick to then made it a corner, but they can do it vice versa, and they've done it there. And we've seen it probably 3 times in the last 3 games, to be honest, at least. We saw it last night, we saw it in the last game, we've seen it now. It was the right decision in the end, but I mean, it's something you can't really complain at. It's something that maybe they should bring to the Premier League.
It's a positive, and then it's unfortunately a lot of things happens with football. It's a great idea. Well, why doesn't it happen the other way as well? Because all they had to do was add it for goal kicks and be turned into corner. That's all you have to do, and it's a perfect world. It's the same with our VAR. When, for example, I think we covered the Manchester and Nottingham Forest game last season, and it was given as a corner. It wasn't a corner. United scored from it.
Yeah.
All you have to do is say we can review. If the goal goes in, we can review. If the corner comes in, nothing happens to it. Fair enough. But because Casemiro scored that header, we can review that and say, no, it went out of play, goal chalked off. It's a very simple thing that's all you need, don't you? And again, it's a great impact that that can be reviewed. So again, what if Colombia had scored from that, and then if you're Switzerland, you're very, very upset, aren't you? But then the other way around, that needs to be looked at as well.
I think the World Cup football's been a breath of fresh air. They're counting down from throw-ins, corners need to be taken. The people lying on the floor, it's not taking 3 or 4 minutes for someone just to get up from a shoulder barge. It's been very refreshing, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it because the game just keeps flowing and flowing. And I'm not going to name names in the Premier League to who does sort of do the dark arts, but the Premier League champions just gone. Maybe did a little bit of that, shall we say? But if they could adopt this type of style in the Premier League, it'd be a lot more entertaining and a lot more fun for the viewers, I'd say. But Switzerland in the centre of the pitch at the minute, taking a bit of chance there in the centre is Freuler, but he's done very, very well with the feet. Elvedi, he's going to be kept honest by Diaz up top, so he goes all the way back to Cobble. We're 3 minutes away from finding out how much additional time there'll be. I don't think there'll be that much. We're going to add on probably for the hydration break, and that's nearly about it. So probably we're looking at about 3 minutes at the minute. It's very rare to go under 5 in this tournament. Majica has it on the near side on halfway. Takes a trap on the left boots with the left foot. Inside to Puerta. Dances on the dime and then goes back into the safety net of his own half to Lukumi, and he's just gone over to Sanchez. And then all the way over to Munoz, far side. He's about halfway inside the Switzerland half, traps it with the right boot, and then has a bit of a dance around with it. Attracts a couple of players in and goes back to Lima. And back into the centre half of Davinson Sanchez once again. Lukumi, centre circle, left-footed chop to the near side. Slightly under hit, but Diaz has the ability to get above his man and head it inside, and he's reacted again too slow by the Swiss. And Diaz is centrally, he moves it to the far side, good ball to Munoz. Ball comes in low this time. It's a good touch in there at the back by Freuler. Remo Freuler just getting aware that the ball was going to be played in. Diaz chasing his own header to then be alive to it, move it to Munoz, who does brilliantly to drag it along the floor backwards. Luis Suarez, I should say, apologies, makes that run. He drops, doesn't he? And Munoz sees it. What a block that is from Freuler.
It's still a little bit behind Luis Diaz, isn't it? But it is beautiful play as well, like I say. But to me, that's Colombia summed up. They see that that's just a bit slow to ball. Well, I'll take it off your bang, we'll go forward. In comes the corner.
It's going to be an in-swinger. It's headed at the front post, up rather than out by Mbolo, headed back in. A little bit of head tennis. It's in the box at the minute, but Switzerland will clear their lines now, and it's going to be Danny Doy to lead the charge. And he's just too clever on it, Majika, and he should get a free kick here. He's got it away from him. He's pointing the way of Switzerland. Has he said that Majika's pulled him first? Well, Danny Doy looks angry, so I'm thinking he has given it the way of Colombia. Let's have a look. I mean, he should, but he was pointing the way Switzerland. I don't know whether was he pointing where it happened? I'm not quite sure, but I think it's Colombia free kick.
No, you are right. You definitely point as if it was. You're not losing your mind there.
Yeah, thank you.
We've got a lot of football over the summer.
Doesn't take much.
You're not losing your mind right there. But
I don't think he remembered his rights and lefts. I don't think I did for a second.
I mean, he's probably still thinking of number 10 red cards. So
sees Miguel Almiron in his dreams, I think.
Exactly. So I mean, we're looking at the maximum momentum graph. I know that's not a massive thing these days, but you see how that up and down goes. Red then goes to yellow, goes to red. It's been a great first half, and you just hope as well. You see this a lot of games, don't you? The first half, usually the second half takes off a little bit. I remember the other night, the Portugal-Croatia game. The first half wasn't bad, just the second half just took it to another level, didn't it? And I could see this going a very similar way.
Yeah, absolutely. As the ball's just with Vargas, all luminous green on the edge of his own area, moves it to Munoz on the far side. About 30 yards from his own goal, he sweeps all the way back to the keeper. 30 seconds away to find out how much additional time there'll be. I don't think there'll be that much. I think it'll just be the hydration break. So 3 minutes, maximum 4 at the end of this first half, which does seem always like a lot. Like the norm is 3, but Premier League, you'd probably say 4's quite a bit. But in this World Cup, it doesn't seem like a lot, does it? There's always at least, I mean, we had what in the Argentina game? Was it 7? At the end of the game,
and we went nearly 5 minutes over that.
Yeah, we hit 100 minutes of football, didn't we, in that game? It was a fantastic watch for anyone. 3 added minutes at the end of the first half. Sanchez just has it on the edge of his own box. Thank you, officials, making me look like I know what I'm talking about there. Back to Vargas, over to Sanchez, edge of his own box again, and moves it on to Munoz. First World Cup meeting for these two since 1994. Can you believe? Colombia walked out 2-0 victors with a goal either side of the break. Something needs magic to happen here to see a goal in this first half. That's a vicious nudge from Daniel Munoz into the back of Ndoye, who was rising for the header and had his feet taken out from under him. It would have been a tough fall, but he's up on his feet. And as always, when a referee goes to get his magic spray, I always think he's grabbing a card. I don't think he's getting a card, but that was naughty.
It was. I will say as well, watching it back, Munoz definitely just gives you that little bit of a nudge, doesn't he? But Ndoye kind of just has his legs in there, then does kind of go back, so does take the brunt of the force himself. But look, it's a dangerous free kick, and I think both sides are kind of sitting there looking at each other going, maybe Switzerland might throw bodies forward to get a lead going into half time, but they just want to see this half into a goalless draw, I think.
Yeah. And as soon as I say that, they've gone short. They did send the big lads forward, but Freuler and Xhaka have made about 4 passes between them both. They're actually going backwards. Is that a free kick? No, it isn't. And Arias is winning the ball back, and he's won a throwing off Rodriguez in the end. Ricardo Rodriguez. That's really sloppy from Switzerland. I think that touches exactly what you said, that they want to get in at 0-0 because they didn't even swing the ball into the box. Is that a tactic because they know how physical Colombia are? Maybe, I'm not sure. But either way, the long ball searching here, it's gone all the way through at the keeper in the end. Diaz was on the chase. And for all the world looks like with a minute to play, we're going to go in goalless. But it's been an intriguing tie, I'd say. I think the word's intriguing. And we may be waiting for this to open up, but it may take an extra 30 minutes, maybe even some spot kicks to change this one. Long ball from Elvedi to the near side, looking for his man. On the run is Freuler. He's not the quickest, but Lukumi gets across really nicely with the body. And he's just shepherded that one out for a throw-in on the near side. I think it's been a well-balanced first half. I give the edge slightly to Colombia, but the two big openings came to Switzerland as well. I mean, Colombia had that effort from the edge of the box, but the openings actually came from Switzerland.
No, I think you're right. I just think Colombia haven't taken advantage of what they've had, if you will. 5 shots, only 1 on target, whereas Switzerland 2 shots, 2 on target, a bit more effective. If you will, that possession is basically 50-50 as well. I think when you think of Ndoye, that shot on target, didn't he? That was a good opportunity. So did Ryder, that said 2 chances. Whereas I just think what I will say is when Colombia come forward, they look more dangerous, don't they? But Hika's won a foul here.
I hope he hasn't. He didn't whistle for a foul. He didn't give it.
Oh no, fair enough. Okay, no, thankfully because he's gone out for a throw. Again, the referee continues to impress us both.
Yeah, absolutely. Throw inside, looking to snatch it right at the end. We've just taken over 48 now, and there's an Elvedi chase on here against Diaz. He already had the start on him, like he has the last couple of races, all the way back to Cobel. And what I believe is the El Salvador referee has blown for half-time. So we're going to end the first as we started it, and that's level. At half-time, it's Switzerland 0, Colombia 0.
Half-time in Vancouver, and it's currently goalless between Switzerland and Colombia in the last game of the round of 16. The winners to face Argentina in the quarter-finals. Chances were very limited in the first half. Switzerland 2 shots, 2 on target coming from Ryder as well as Ndoye. 2 shots you'd expect to be saved. Puerta, his curling effort just outside the penalty area, saved well by Cobel. That was best chance of the game. Colombia with a few shots that went wide. Half-time, it is goalless. Half-time in Vancouver, and it's currently goalless between Switzerland and Colombia in the last game of the round of 16. The winners to face Argentina in the quarter-finals. Chances were very limited in the first half. Switzerland 2 shots, 2 on target coming from Ryder as well as Ndoye. 2 shots you'd expect to be saved. Puerta, his curling effort just outside the penalty area, saved well by Cobel. That was best chance of the game. Colombia with a few shots that went wide. Half-time, it is goalless. Half-time in Vancouver, and it's currently goalless between Switzerland and Colombia in the last game of the round of 16. The winners to face Argentina in the quarter-finals. Chances were very limited in the first half. Switzerland 2 shots, 2 on target coming from Ryder as well as Ndoye. 2 shots you'd expect to be saved. Puerta, his curling effort just outside the penalty area, saved well by Cobel. That was best chance of the game. Colombia with a few shots that went wide. Half-time, it is goalless. half-time in Vancouver, and it's currently goalless between Switzerland and Colombia in the last game of the round of 16. The winners to face Argentina in the quarter-finals. Chances were very limited in the first half. Switzerland 2 shots, 2 on target coming from Ryder as well as Ndoye. 2 shots you'd expect to be saved. Puerta, his curling effort just outside the penalty area, saved well by Corbell. That was best chance of the game. Colombia with a few shots that went wide. Half-time, it is goalless. Half-time in Vancouver, and it's currently goalless between Switzerland and Colombia in the last game of the round of 16. The winners to face Argentina in the quarter-finals. Chances were very limited in the first half. Switzerland 2 shots, 2 on target coming from Ryder as well as Ndoye. 2 shots you'd expect to be saved. Puerta, his curling effort just outside the penalty area, saved well by Corbell. That was best chance of the game. Colombia with a few shots that went wide. Half-time, it is goalless. Half-time in Vancouver, and it's currently goalless between Switzerland and Colombia in the last game of the round of 16. The winners to face Argentina in the quarter-finals. Chances were very limited in the first half. Switzerland 2 shots, 2 on target coming from Ryder as well as Ndoye. 2 shots you'd expect to be saved. Puerta, his curling effort just outside the penalty area, saved well by Corbell. That was best chance of the game. Colombia with a few shots that went wide. Half-time, it is goalless. Half-time in Vancouver, and it's currently goalless between Switzerland and Colombia in the last game of the round of 16. The winners to face Argentina in the quarter-finals. Chances were very limited in the first half. Switzerland 2 shots, 2 on target coming from Ryder as well as Ndoye. 2 shots you'd expect to be saved. Puerta, his curling effort just outside the penalty area, saved well by Corbell. That was best chance of the game. Colombia with a few shots that went wide. Half-time, it is goalless. Half-time in Vancouver, and it's currently goalless between Switzerland and Colombia in the last game of the round of 16. The winners to face Argentina in the quarter-finals. Chances were very limited in the first half. Switzerland 2 shots, 2 on target coming from Ryder as well as Ndoye. 2 shots you'd expect to be saved. Puerta, his curling effort just outside the penalty area, saved well by Corbell. That was best chance of the game. Colombia with a few shots that went wide. Half-time, it is goalless. Half-time in Vancouver, and it's currently goalless between Switzerland and Colombia in the last game of the round of 16. The winners to face Argentina in the quarter-finals. Chances were very limited in the first half. Switzerland 2 shots, 2 on target coming from Ryder as well as Ndoye. 2 shots you'd expect to be saved. Puerta, his curling effort just outside the penalty area, saved well by Corbell. That was best chance of the game. Colombia with a few shots that went wide. Half-time, it is goalless. Half-time in Vancouver, and it's currently goalless between Switzerland and Colombia in the last game of the round of 16. The winners to face Argentina in the quarter-finals. Chances were very limited in the first half. Switzerland 2 shots, 2 on target coming from Ryder as well as Ndoye. 2 shots you'd expect to be saved. Puerta, his curling effort just outside the penalty area, saved well by Corbell. That was best chance of the game. Colombia with a few shots that went wide. Half-time, it is goalless. Half-time in Vancouver, and it's currently goalless between Switzerland and Colombia in the last game of the round of 16. The winners to face Argentina in the quarter-finals. Chances were very limited in the first half. Switzerland 2 shots, 2 on target coming from Ryder as well as Ndoye. 2 shots you'd expect to be saved. Puerta, his curling effort just outside the penalty area, saved well by Corbell. That was best chance of the game. Colombia with a few shots that went wide. Half-time, it is goalless. Half-time in Vancouver, and it's currently goalless between Switzerland and Colombia in the last game of the round of 16. The winners to face Argentina in the quarter-finals. Chances were very limited in the first half. Switzerland 2 shots, 2 on target coming from Ryder as well as Ndoye. 2 shots you'd expect to be saved. Puerta, his curling effort just outside the penalty area, saved well by Corbell. That was best chance of the game. Colombia with a few shots that went wide. Half-time, it is goalless. Half-time in Vancouver, and it's currently goalless between Switzerland and Colombia in the last game of the round of 16. The winners to face Argentina in the quarter-finals. Chances were very limited in the first half. Switzerland 2 shots, 2 on target coming from Ryder as well as Ndoye. 2 shots you'd expect to be saved. Puerta, his curling effort just outside the penalty area, saved well by Corbell. That was best chance of the game. Colombia with a few shots that went wide. Half-time, it is goalless. half-time in Vancouver, and it's currently goalless between Switzerland and Colombia in the last game of the round of 16. The winners to face Argentina in the quarter-finals. Chances were very limited in the first half. Switzerland 2 shots, 2 on target coming from Ryder as well as Ndoye. 2 shots you'd expect to be saved. Puerta, his curling effort just outside the penalty area, saved well by Corbell. That was best chance of the game. Colombia with a few shots that went wide. Half-time, and it's goalless. Half-time in Vancouver, and it's currently goalless between Switzerland and Colombia in the last game of the round of 16. The winners to face Argentina in the quarter-finals. Chances were very limited in the first half. Switzerland 2 shots, 2 on target coming from Ryder as well as Ndoye. 2 shots you'd expect to be saved. Puerta, his curling effort just outside the penalty area, saved well by Corbell. That was best chance of the game. Colombia with a few shots that went wide. Half-time, and it's goalless. Half-time in Vancouver, and it's currently goalless between Switzerland and Colombia in the last game of the round of 16. The winners to face Argentina in the quarter-finals. Chances were very limited in the first half. Switzerland 2 shots, 2 on target coming from Ryder as well as Ndoye. 2 shots you'd expect to be saved. Puerta, his curling effort just outside the penalty area, saved well by Corbell. That was best chance of the game. Colombia with a few shots that went wide. Half-time, and it's goalless. Half-time in Vancouver, and it's currently goalless between Switzerland and Colombia in the last game of the round of 16. The winners to face Argentina in the quarter-finals. Chances were very limited in the first half. Switzerland 2 shots, 2 on target coming from Ryder as well as Ndoye. 2 shots you'd expect to be saved. Puerta, his curling effort just outside the penalty area, saved well by Corbell. That was best chance of the game. Colombia with a few shots that went wide. Half-time, and it's goalless. Half-time in Vancouver, and it's currently goalless between Switzerland and Colombia in the last game of the round of 16. The winners to face Argentina in the quarter-finals. Chances were very limited in the first half. Switzerland 2 shots, 2 on target coming from Ryder as well as Ndoye. 2 shots you'd expect to be saved. Puerta, his curling effort just outside the penalty area, saved well by Corbell. That was best chance of the game. Colombia with a few shots that went wide. Half-time, and it's goalless. Half-time in Vancouver, and it's currently goalless between Switzerland and Colombia in the last game of the round of 16. The winners to face Argentina in the quarter-finals. Chances were very limited in the first half. Switzerland 2 shots, 2 on target coming from Ryder as well as Ndoye. 2 shots you'd expect to be saved. Puerta, his curling effort just outside the penalty area, saved well by Corbell. That was best chance of the game. Colombia with a few shots that went wide. Half-time, and it's goalless. Half-time in Vancouver, and it's currently goalless between Switzerland and Colombia in the last game of the round of 16. The winners to face Argentina in the quarter-finals. Chances were very limited in the first half. Switzerland 2 shots, 2 on target coming from Ryder as well as Ndoye. 2 shots you'd expect to be saved. Puerta, his curling effort just outside the penalty area, saved well by Corbell. That was best chance of the game. Colombia with a few shots that went wide. Half-time, and it's goalless. Half-time in Vancouver, and it's currently goalless between Switzerland and Colombia in the last game of the round of 16. The winners to face Argentina in the quarter-finals. Chances were very limited in the first half. Switzerland 2 shots, 2 on target coming from Ryder as well as Ndoye. 2 shots you'd expect to be saved. Puerta, his curling effort just outside the penalty area, saved well by Corbell. That was best chance of the game. Colombia with a few shots that went wide. Half-time, and it's goalless. Half-time in Vancouver, and it's currently goalless between Switzerland and Colombia in the last game of the round of 16. The winners to face Argentina in the quarter-finals. Chances were very limited in the first half. Switzerland 2 shots, 2 on target coming from Ryder as well as Ndoye. 2 shots you'd expect to be saved. Puerta, his curling effort just outside the penalty area, saved well by Corbell. That was best chance of the game. Colombia with a few shots that went wide. Half-time, and it's goalless. Half-time in Vancouver, and it's currently goalless between Switzerland and Colombia in the last game of the round of 16. The winners to face Argentina in the quarter-finals. Chances were very limited in the first half. Switzerland 2 shots, 2 on target coming from Ryder as well as Ndoye. 2 shots you'd expect to be saved. Puerta, his curling effort just outside the penalty area, saved well by Corbell. That was best chance of the game. Colombia with a few shots that went wide. Half-time, and it's goalless. half-time in Vancouver, and it's currently goalless between Switzerland and Colombia in the last game of the round of 16. The winners to face Argentina in the quarter-finals. Chances were very limited in the first half. Switzerland 2 shots, 2 on target coming from Ryder as well as Ndoye. 2 shots you'd expect to be saved. Puerta, his curling effort just outside the penalty area, saved well by Corbell. That was best chance of the game. Colombia with a few shots that went wide. Half-time, and it's goalless. Half-time in Vancouver, and it's currently goalless between Switzerland and Colombia in the last game of the round of 16. The winners to face Argentina in the quarter-finals. Chances were very limited in the first half. Switzerland 2 shots, 2 on target coming from Ryder as well as Ndoye. 2 shots you'd expect to be saved. Puerta, his curling effort just outside the penalty area, saved well by Corbell. That was best chance of the game. Colombia with a few shots that went wide. Half-time, and it's goalless. Half-time in Vancouver, and it's currently goalless between Switzerland and Colombia in the last game of the round of 16. The winners to face Argentina in the quarter-finals. Chances were very limited in the first half. Switzerland 2 shots, 2 on target coming from Ryder as well as Ndoye. 2 shots you'd expect to be saved. Puerta, his curling effort just outside the penalty area, saved well by Corbell. That was best chance of the game. Colombia with a few shots that went wide. Half-time, and it's goalless. Half-time in Vancouver, and it's currently goalless between Switzerland and Colombia in the last game of the round of 16. The winners to face Argentina in the quarter-finals. Chances were very limited in the first half. Switzerland 2 shots, 2 on target coming from Ryder as well as Ndoye. 2 shots you'd expect to be saved. Puerta, his curling effort just outside the penalty area, saved well by Corbell. That was best chance of the game. Colombia with a few shots that went wide. Half-time, and it's goalless. Half-time in Vancouver, and it's currently goalless between Switzerland and Colombia in the last game of the round of 16. The winners to face Argentina in the quarter-finals. Chances were very limited in the first half. Switzerland 2 shots, 2 on target coming from Ryder as well as Ndoye. 2 shots you'd expect to be saved. Puerta, his curling effort just outside the penalty area, saved well by Corbell. That was best chance of the game. Colombia with a few shots that went wide. Half-time, and it's goalless. Half-time in Vancouver, and it's currently goalless between Switzerland and Colombia in the last game of the round of 16. The winners to face Argentina in the quarter-finals. Chances were very limited in the first half. Switzerland 2 shots, 2 on target coming from Ryder as well as Ndoye. 2 shots you'd expect to be saved. Puerta, his curling effort just outside the penalty area, saved well by Corbell. That was best chance of the game. Colombia with a few shots that went wide. Half-time, and it's goalless. Half-time in Vancouver, and it's currently goalless between Switzerland. And it is a warm welcome back to this evening's unofficial independent off-tube studio commentary of all the action from Vancouver. The last game in the round of 16 of this World Cup. It's Switzerland 0, Colombia 0. The winner of this tie to face Argentina, of course, from that epic comeback for Lionel Messi and co. In the previous game, as already Colombia pressing down the Swiss, trying to play out from the back. In the first half, you just feel it's full of tension, waiting for the game to come alive. I was saying to my co-coms that we've seen that a lot. The first half, there's a lot of tension. The second half, it tends to open up a little bit more. Maybe as we get to the back end of the second half, you don't want to lose, but goals change games, as we all know, very cliche as it comes. But of course, we see all the fans in the stands there making a fantastic atmosphere in Vancouver. Ball for great block from Lerman. Might have been offside, still might be offside. Puerta does well to win the ball, and then I think, as my co-cops rightfully just pointed, that will be in offside. Change at half-time. Jibril Sow comes on for Ardon Jashari. Looks like that'll be maybe even 4-4-2, maybe still 4-2-3-1-esque for the Swiss. Colombia are unchanged. I'll bring you through the lineups in just a moment, but it's myself, Lewis Raftery, joined by Nathan Wastel to take through all the action of the second half of the round of 16. It's Switzerland 0, Colombia 0. And what do both teams need to change? Of course, you could feel the tension, but you just know that both teams have all the talent. I will bring Nathan in a moment. As ball forward for Mbolo, he was very, very absent in the first half. Didn't make his name known. 2 goals, 2 assists in the competition so far. Made its way to Ndoye on the left-hand side. He's got a one-on-one against Puerta. Goes past his man with ease. Ball back into the box. Falls for who puts his effort wide. Well, what an impact that would have been. That might have been his first touch for Djibril Sow. But over the bar it goes. And again, sometimes you get that big chance or goal that should have been. Great play from Ndoye. He was slipping. He was maybe a little bit behind him, leaning back. But he should be doing better than that.
Yeah, he was left at the back post. So disciplined, so organised at the back. Oh, he slips at the wrong moment. He had two as well, Majika, and he had to go with his man darting to the front post. That pulled the space at the back for Djibril Sow, just behind him, and slipped. But very, very rarely that Colombia were outnumbered there and unorganised as well. So what do one of these teams need to do? Take a bit more of a chance going forward. And well, you may have just seen it there from the Swiss. That was a brilliant low ball in as well. So it shows that they can unlock this Colombian back line. Good attempt and a good start to the second half for the Swiss. But yeah, it's just be a bit braver going forward for these two teams to unlock them.
No, I agree with that. We both know the teams have got goals in spades, of course. Coming into the game, as you were mentioning, averaging over 20 shots a game were Colombia. I know they've not scored a record-breaking amount, but you know that they like to take chances and take shots. They've lost the ball high up the field. Xhaka comes away with it out to the left-hand side, and Ndoye up against Munoz this time. Into the box, Xhaka looks for a 1-2, and Ndoye, is he taken down there? Referee Yvonne Barton, the El Salvador official, says no straight away. It looked like quite just an awkward one, if I'm being quite honest, between the two. I'd like to watch it back more than anything. I thought it was good play from Ndoye first and foremost. He started the second half off in some great form. No. If it were to be given or even looked at, I think the problem he's got, it's not a foul, is he kind of not grabs his shirt, but he just tries to grab him for a second, and there's a pull of the shirt which makes it look, if you just see that shirt being pulled, that it would be a penalty. It's a great piece of play, it has to be said, and well, Ndoye starting the second half, fantastic.
Yeah, he has, yeah. It's been a great start for Switzerland as well. They've been second best so far, Colombia in the second. Started very positively as well, very aggressively, and had a brilliant opportunity for Djibril Sow, and then they've had that shout for a penalty that wasn't in the end. There was not enough in it. Daniel Munoz just caught on his heels slightly, which was the problem, I think. He got the better. He's a pacey fullback, and he got round him there, and he put his arm out to sort of block him. They're trying to play out from the back, and it's not working. So it's not been a great start the second half for Colombia, who I tipped as the favourites coming into this one, just about. But a brilliant start to the second half for the Swiss.
You'd say as well, though, we did speak about how mean the defences are as well, didn't we? So you wouldn't have put past a good game with chances, but both defences rising to the occasion as well. Lovely ball from right to left to Ricardo Rodriguez. Well, that's a poor ball. Munoz comes in with a big tackle, wins the ball, leaves one of his man there though. Lerma's got options in front of him. He should have played it to Suarez. Instead, he still continues with the ball. Plays it out to Luis Diaz on the left-hand side. He's got options. Will he cut back inside? James, he should have took that on his left boot. Instead, he tried to let it roll. Good tackle coming in there from Sanchez. And now the tackles, they are coming in. I do believe it was Xhaka. No, Xhaka's on the edge of the area. It wasn't him. I believe the Swiss player is still down, possibly. I'm just waiting to see if the referee does bring a pause to the game. It definitely wasn't a foul. Diaz swings a lovely ball out to Puerta. Slows it down. I thought he might even go for the effort as foul as that it was. Rodriguez swings a ball into the box. Arias' head just over his head. Just gets it wrong. There's a former Wolves man. Lovely ball into the box. It was his goal, the difference maker, early on in the second half against Ghana as well. There is a yellow card here for Granit Xhaka. I think there was one maybe left in on Munoz as well. Watching it back, it's one of the both going, ooh, that's a nasty one, I think, from Xhaka. He's going for the ball. I don't think it's malicious, but it is nasty right on the top of the right boots.
Yes, it is. And he goes down holding his ankle, and I think that's just sort of to save face. I think he's just trying to make it out like Munoz has gone in on him, which I thought he actually, how many times have you seen a player over touch it and then go flying in on his man? I thought that was the case, but actually no, Xhaka came in with the stomp. So the Swiss captain gets a yellow card and walks that tightrope. This game has opened up so much since the break. I didn't think it'd open up this much this early, and it has. Gaps for both sides.
Well, that's a lovely piece of play out to the left-hand side. So Rodriguez, Munoz closes him down. We know that the fullback's got a good delivery on him. He's forced to go back to Xhaka, as you rightfully said, Nathan. Of course, now that walking that tightrope on that yellow card. It's the first yellow card of the game, if I'm correct. Just checking my notes. Xhaka on the left. Back to Akanji, and now this is where I think this is what the type of football the Swiss want. That's a foul by Sanchez. That could have been a yellow card in itself. Kind of hacks down Fabian Ryder there, lovely first touch, and as you say, it's as if I think maybe both teams have gone, could we catch them early on in the second half? We've grown into the game, could we catch it? The Swiss have started the best for sure. I think your only negative would be, I know we're only 7 minutes into the second half, goalless between Switzerland and Colombia. You haven't maybe created a big chance yet.
Yeah, and now they have a massive opportunity. Fabian Ryder, so good there, suckering in his man and then swivelling on a 180, and then Sanchez gone through the back of him. This is huge. They've had such a good start to the second half of the Swiss, 7 minutes into it. You've got Xhaka over it there. You've got Remo Freuler, who's probably on the right foot, more of the ideal candidate for it. There's a 4-man war for Colombia, and they've got defending to do it. Maybe a lay here as well. Very intriguing, but a huge chance at the start of the second.
With the left foot, going for goal. Hits the side netting. A wicked strike there from Ryder, and for a moment that had me thinking that's bound for the top corner.
And I think there'll be a lot of people in that stadium that thought at the back of the net, because it hit the top corner of the side netting, so it looks like it's just rippled that top corner. I tell you what, a few at the other end of BC Place here wearing the red colour will be probably thinking that's wrapped into the back of net, but it's not a bad attempt.
No, it's not at all. Really good opportunity there. It was one of them as well where it's hard to get up and down over the wall with the power and pace you need it to be. There is a goal kick. I believe the referee's just holding him off. I might have been looking at something quickly. I'm not sure, because there was nothing from the free kick, but the referee did just pause the play before he allowed Vargas to take that goal kick ball over the top. It's quite a high line from the Swiss whenever they do have the ball. Down by Arias into Lerma. Switches the play to the right hand side to Munoz. Dinks it forward for Puerta. He's got Rodriguez on him as well. Back to Lerma. He's a sitter, of course, in that midfield. He's pressed down well by Mbolo. Of course, as we're looking at certain cards, so on and so forth, of someone who would be suspended, looking at the two. Arias, who's on the field, the player Richard Rios, if he comes on, he would be, if they pick up a yellow card, they would be suspended for the next game if Colombia were to get there. And we spoke about this in the Argentina game. When it's games this close, could it be a substitute who comes on, makes an impact for either side? It's one of them, isn't it, where the 11 players, you almost feel each other out. You know what's going to happen. There's a battle for the ball there. Rodriguez wants a free kick. Never going to get one. Then a substitute comes on and it's something new to think about, and they make a massive impact. It happened for Argentina.
Absolutely. Of course it can. Substitutions can do that. And this game's set up for that. Tired legs, fresh legs come on, and there's a change of minds, change of ideas. It could absolutely set up for that. We're 55 minutes into the game. It's been a fairly even game. Switzerland have had the edge in the second half. They've come out very, very nicely. They haven't hit the back of the net yet. But you get the sense we're on the edge of something happening.
I think we're just waiting for that one big moment, aren't you, between the two sides. And I feel Colombia, they're more confident to sit back, as Alveri will play it back to Cobel. He's going to entice the press from Diaz. It's not a great ball out to Rodriguez. He's going to come away with a header. Sanchez, that's a poor header. Not it down to Entoy, basically. Puerta, nice touch and pass into Lerma, his defensive midfield partner. Back to Munoz, and Puerta, someone who has impressed me and Nathan against Ghana for sure. He's been one of the rising stars, if you will, of this World Cup. The Racing Santander midfielder, only 22 years of age. Only of Hull City, if any of the Tigers fans remember that one, only a few years ago. Ball forward down the left hand side. Diaz and Zakaria battling for it, and Zakaria does also well. Diaz isn't happy about it, but I think that's just really good defensive play. Strong from Zakaria. 10.5 minutes into the second half in the round of 16, the last one. Who will be facing Argentina in Kansas City, at least for us, early Sunday morning in the last quarter-finals. Of course, in this bracket as well, you get to the quarter-finals, then into the semis, you'll be facing either the winner of England and Norway. So that'll be interesting. I think both brackets have got some great games coming up ahead of us. Lerma and Munoz, well, the two Crystal Palace players get it all wrong there. Munoz played it to Lerma. I think he wanted the 1-2, and I think Munoz did want it, but he's blocked off a bit by Ndoye. I think he was trying to say that to the referee. The Swiss have the ball on the left-hand side. Rodriguez trying to work it in tight spaces. Ryder, ball through. It's a good tackle from Sanchez, and he just boots it out of play as well. Just looking at the stats specifically in the second half, this might be a worrying noise down. I think he's back up. 56% possession for the Swiss. 2 shots not on target. Colombia yet to even test the goalkeeper. They've barely been in the Swiss half in the opening 10 minutes of this second half. As Cobel has it, he's been hounded down by Suarez. Just clears it away. Lucchini will come away with the ball. Colombia have to improve, but I think if you are Colombia, also what you would say is, yeah, we haven't been the greatest at the start of the second half. The Swiss have been better and been all over us, but they've only had 2 shots not on target. They'll be happy if this is the best that the Swiss have got.
Yeah.
Colombia will be happy with that.
Yeah, I think they've let the Swiss show their hands, and it's like, well, you haven't even got a shot on target, you haven't tested us, so what have we got to fear, really? If that's the sense, I feel like Switzerland can still go to another level. Colombia just haven't let them, but yeah, they have been the better side, Switzerland, but you think Colombia will come back into the game at some point, but it's been a very open one, that's for sure.
Ball down the right-hand side. Akanji's going to get there. Munoz is pressing down. Corbell has to clear it away. It's not a great one. Rodriguez as well to scamper and come over the ball. Plays it down the line to Ndoye. It's not a great touch, but it works out fantastically well for Ndoye. He's got a run in his man now. Plays a lovely ball to Shaw, but Arias is there. Right place, right time. Getting back in the midfielder. Once again, as you say, it's one of them. Colombia sitting out there and waiting for counter-attacks. When they counter, they do throw bodies. They throw caution to the wind, which then means that Switzerland can come down the other end and create chances. So it really opens up when Colombia come forward more than the Swiss. I'll bring Nathan in a moment. It's on the right-hand side. Ball comes in, asking for half-hide. Shouts for a handball. It's a heavy touch from Diaz, and he will be fouled there by Zakaria. That might even be a card, possibly, as well. It will be for the fullback. Luis Diaz hasn't had much of this second half. I think he's a great midfielder, Zakaria. He's played it right back most, if not the entirety of the tournament. He's just late to the tackle there. If I'm Luis Diaz, I want the ball next play, and I want to be running at my fullback on a yellow card.
Yeah, absolutely. You'd be looking at that man every single time. I'm just thinking, I've seen a couple of legs out there. They look slightly tired, just a little bit heavy for Colombia. I think James Rodriguez is one of them. Of course, last stage of his career, no spring chicken anymore in terms of footballing life. I just think they look slightly tired, and I think that distills into the Swissland possession at the minute. They're happy sitting deep, but there's a couple of tired legs, a couple of tired minds out there, so I don't think we're far off substitutions.
I'll say as well, just looking at the bench that Nathan was mentioning, basically, I think every single Colombia game, and I have covered every single Colombia game during the World Cup, Juan Quintero has come on for James Rodriguez, and they are basically like-for-like players. They are that little magician, that playmaker, the creative hub of the side. That's a poor pass picked up by Lerma. Here come Colombia forward. Diaz pokes it to the right-hand side. Might fall on the edge of the area. Diaz keeps it alive. Great play from the number 7. Shot comes in. Shot on target as well from Diaz. It's one where he's turning and trying to get torque on it. He's straight at the goalkeeper. It's a save by Corbell. It's a shot on target. But I think now Colombia there's going to be a yellow card here as well. I think it's for Suarez. I don't know if maybe perhaps the referee might have even stopped it and the shots won't count. I'm not too sure. Diaz goes for the shot and it bobbles into the path of Corbell, so I think that will count, if you will, the shot on target. It's as Corbell runs away, Suarez grabs him by his left arm and pulls him down, so that's why Suarez has gone in the book, and that's a really silly yellow card for Suarez, because now you're on one, and he could be off the field very soon, if you will. Ball forward looking for the run of Mbola, nodded away now. I thought Friday will go for a shot. He does. In the end, it's blocked away. Lerma will get there, plays it to Arias, puts his left back Mojica under a lot of pressure. It'll be punted long. Suarez, he does well to win a free kick. And we spoke about this in the Argentina-Egypt game. You know, one game you don't want to play is this gritty, foul, kind of physical game with South American sides. They perfected, if you will. If Switzerland start doing this with the fouls and getting frustrated, I think that's where Colombia have a massive mental advantage.
Yeah, these South American teams that love the nitty-gritty, the blood boiling, whereas they're a bit more elegant to the Swiss with their football. So, yeah, they don't want to be getting suckered into that. 60 minutes on the clock. The last 15 have been all Switzerland, but again, the scoreline's still 0-0. So maybe Colombia see that as an opportunity to think, well, because it is 0-0, now we can push on and try and go for the winner.
Cleared away on the left-hand side, kept in by... Oh no, Diaz puts it out. He just nodded that ball out. It was already out of play. So throwing Mojica, ball into the box, flicked on at the front post. I think that takes a wicked deflection. Might even be an offside on Mojica. I'm not too sure. Waiting for pictures of the lines. Well, the Colombian fans, they're having the time of their lives in the stands at the moment. And the atmosphere has been great for all the teams, but I just think particularly the South American teams and the likes of Mexico, the more Northern American teams, they've just been a different level at this tournament. We've seen a few African sides as well. Cape Verde were absolutely fantastic, weren't they? Ball forward, and Kanji back to Corbell. Again, you just feel that Colombia are happy to not have possession in this game. Say to the Swiss, you want it. But you know what? Is Puerta brought down there by Ndoye? Believe he is. Xhaka is the man to help him get up, and I think they take it quickly. Lerma tries to. I think he's been fantastic at the base of that midfield. Sanchez tries to play it forward to the right hand side, gets it all wrong, still trying to come away with the ball. The Swiss win it though in the middle. Xhaka to Rodriguez. Ricardo Rodriguez, of course. We've got 2 on the field with hammers. 62.5 minutes on the clock. Goalless in Vancouver. It is Switzerland 0, Colombia 0. That might change now. Ball forward. Suarez can't bring it down. Now he does. Outside the area. Deflected away, I believe. Or is a foul being given. Or is he just completely sliced that one wide? We'll have to wait for a second. But that was just Xhaka almost. I don't know, falling asleep for just a moment. He thinks he's fouled. He's stretching forward. He might have caught himself watching it back.
No, dear.
I was giving Suarez a bit of credit by saying he sliced that wide. That is the most. You've got that one really wrong, mate, I've ever seen. But Colombia, they seem to have, in the last 5 minutes, just really up their intensity.
Yeah, they have. They've turned it up. Luis Suarez has scored 40-plus goals for a club and country last season. He knows where the goal is. Uncharacteristic, shall we say. Are we putting down to rust? I'm not. Do you know what? You gave him an excuse. I'm not going to as well. He just absolutely shanked that. He had no excuse. He hadn't had any openings in this game, the number 25. And he's absolutely sliced through that. It nearly went out for a throw-in. Haven't had much in front of goal in this second half, have they? It's like their second shot of the half. They haven't been on target either, so I think one was on target. That one definitely wasn't. But again, not their finest hour in front of goal. So, yeah, interesting all game so far. Very much going into that hydration break, still in the balance.
It is. And we've seen hydration breaks change games, haven't we, a lot? Yeah. So I think that could be a massive 3 minutes in the next 5 to 8 minutes or so. Diaz on the left-hand side, he's coming alive, plays it down the line to Mojica. He's defended well, ball into the box, he's blocked to it and go out for a throw-in. But the first 10 minutes of the second half, but again, we're almost at 10 minutes, we're 20 minutes into the second half, it's almost 10 and 10. But we spoke about in the first half, you have the momentum, and then it'll swing the other way for a little bit, and then I'm sure Switzerland will get it back. It's almost both teams saying, we're going to go for it, all right, we're going to sit back now. Okay, now we're going to go for it and sit back. And you just feel that at one point, one team is going to get a really good chance. Whether they take advantage or not is a different question, as Colombia have the throw-in, but it's going to be given as a foul against them. I believe that Puerta might have caught his defender in the face there. I'm not quite sure, but it will be a free kick. The referee is looking over to the dugout for something. It might be a substitution. I'm not too sure. I don't think it's a hydration break this early, is it? 65 minutes on the clock. Diaz just running. He catches him in the face, not maliciously. It's one of them. We see it all the time that you just put your hand in front of your player. And I think the substitutions coming on. It's going to be a double change. Quintero will be coming on. Looks like for James Rodriguez. That seems to be just the change for Colombia. Campas as well will be coming on. Looks like for John Arias. So they are like for like, but still it's attacking change, if you will. Campas for Arias. I'd say Campas is a more attacking player than Arias. Quintero coming on for James Rodriguez. That's like for like two playmakers. I believe he created 5 chances, Quintero, against Ghana in his short cameo appearance. That shows how creative he is. And we spoke about subs. One of these could be the match winner. Yeah,
absolutely. They absolutely can. And of course, Campas knows where the goal of himself. Got that goal in the opening game in that 3-1 victory against Uzbekistan. So knows where the goal is himself. Yeah, positive changes. Arias, we spoke so highly of him, didn't we? And how good he was, but I don't think he's really set the world alight in this game. He's got himself about, he's worked hard, he's probably done the ugly work that's gone under the radar, but you see why Jaminton Campas has come on from Quintero. I think that substitution's made itself, right? Hasn't we talked about that? They made it every game. They want to start with Rodriguez, but he looks so tired even coming out for the second half himself, so he hasn't really influenced it as much as he probably wants, the Colombian captain. But yeah, 2 attacking changes.
They are attacking changes. The Swiss went to the bench, of course, at half time. Good tackle there. The Swiss man stayed down, but it's an opportunity for Colombia if they want to come forward. He's still down. Referee said get up to the player. Colombia is still playing in their own half. I think they might pull it out of play. That's what the Swiss are asking for. It's Embolo who's stayed down. I think the referee is saying to Colombia, if you want to play on, I'm not stopping the game. It's up to you. I mean, Embolo's now rolled over, had a look at the referee, put his hand over his face once again.
Funny that.
Now he's having words with the referee, and then now it seems fine that the whistle's being blown. And I think that's where. But I think, you know what Colombia to me would do go now? They've got, right, you've got your one. That was the one time we're going to do it. Next time, you know what? We'll swing the ball out to the right hand side and we'll go up and score. You've got your one off of us, if you will. We'll play 67 minutes, and I don't know if we might be heading for the hydration break now or not. It might get caught, if I'm honest, but it's just a good tackle at the end of the day.
It is, it's a physical tackle, but it's a contact sport at the end of the day. And Sanchez sporting that armband, making the point. Ooh, there's a landing of the boot on his hamstring that may have caused the issue. I think it was accidental, of course. So it will hurt. You're not missing anything. The hydration break has begun. I just want to say there, as the referee knelt down to have a look at Embolo, it said 21:57 on his digital clock, which I presume is how much we played in the second half, which would be 66 minutes, and we're in the 67th. So I'd say at the minute we've got a 1 minute added on. We're going to add on another 3, so we'll be hitting 4 minutes. So interesting to see how the referee's watch does line up, because you don't see it all that often. It was a massive digital watch, so probably looking at 4 minutes at the minute.
Well, I saw the referees, they've got about 3 watches on, haven't they? They've got a watch on each hand. I think they've got the bands on, obviously.
So much to think about, haven't they?
I can imagine. Oh, I forgot to press that one. Added time, we'll call it 8 minutes. I don't know, but you got the stoppage time right in the first half. 3 minutes, you're spot on with that. So at the moment, you're calling it 4, so we'll continue to go with that one. But as Nathan rightfully said, it is a hydration break, so if you are joining us, warm welcome first and foremost. It's unofficial, independent, off-tube studio commentary of all the action of this last round of 16 game from Vancouver, the BC Place Stadium. Switzerland 0, Colombia 0, winner to face Argentina. In the next round, well, the Swiss roll on to face Argentina. It will be an all South American affair in the quarter-finals, and of course, as we spoke about earlier, the winner to get through of the quarter-final and goes through to the semi-finals will face the winner of Norway and England. So tough brackets on both, as always. We'll see as well tomorrow. I don't know what I'm going to do myself. No football for the first time in about 3 weeks. But we do get back to business Thursday evening. France and Morocco, then Friday Spain and Belgium, and then the final, if I am correct, double header, if you will, game after game, Saturday night coming into Sunday morning. At least for us here, of course, in the UK, the England game against Norway is 10 o'clock, and then at 2 a.m. it will be Argentina versus either Switzerland or Colombia in Kansas City. As we're looking as the officials are trying now to get the players back. Get the fluids ready, saying, right, your time's up, you've got to get back to business. You've got the fourth quarter coming up in just a few moments. Of course, as I mentioned, all those games, you can catch all of them on this service, as well as, of course, the semi-finals, the third and fourth playoff place, and as well the final, of course, coming up there. I'm going to make a substitution. Ricardo Rodriguez is going to leave the field of play, the left back, of course, ever experienced, but his race is run. Just waiting for, I think, the whistle to go so they can officially put the board up and make the substitution. Looks like it'll be Myro Mohem coming on, the number 2. More of a can play left mid, left wing back, left back. He's a versatile left-sided player. Let's call it, but it will be Rodriguez off, Mohem on. Fresh legs, if you will. I mean, as I say, this is no offence to Rodriguez. He's been a top left back for absolutely ages, but now at 33 years old, Real Betis, man, I remember when he was playing his football at Wolfsburg for so long. 144th appearance for the Swiss this evening, one of the legends in the game. Seeing pictures of Jurgen Klopp. He might possibly be managing in 4 years' time at the next World Cup that rolls around for his national side. Without substitution, Mohem on, Rodriguez off. We are back underway. 71 minutes we're about to take over here in Vancouver. It is unofficial independent off-tube studio commentary of all the action in this last round of 16 clash. Who's off to face Argentina? It's Switzerland 0, Colombia 0. Good tackle there by Munoz. In Doy coming down the left-hand side early on. Does he bring his man down? Yes, he does. So it will be a free kick. I was waiting for the referee there. It took quite a while, did Ivan Barton, the El Salvador official, to make his decision. But as I was saying, free kick here, dangerous one for the Swiss, but goalless so far unofficial independent off-tube studio commentary. 0-0 between the two sides, but I will pass you over to Nathan to take us through to full time.
Thanks, Raf. Yeah, it's going to be Fabian Ryder once again. He took that free kick about 20 minutes ago that hit the side netting. He's got a left-footed in-swinging free kick now, the number 22. I just feel like it's been a fairly close encounter, but the longer it goes on, the more the nerves heighten, the tighter it does get. I could be very wrong, but in a knockout game, we're used to that. It's going to be a ball in from Friday. It's a good one. It's a good defensive header as well, deep in their own 6-yard box. Header comes back in. Keeper will punch. Oh, that's a nasty one. There's an offside, but for his efforts, he's been clattered into as well. It was a honest challenge by the keeper, Cobelt, who's come out and punched. Vargas come out and punched for Colombia. I think he's going to be okay. But that is a nasty old bash, who I think it is Embolo. He's gone backwards to sort of flick. He's all eyes on the ball, bang from the chest, and then his face is slammed into the turf as well. Head injury, of course, will stop the game. It's a nasty one, but an honest one.
There's nothing wrong with that. Embolo probably offside, and I think Sanchez, I don't like it, but I can understand, he's almost going, you inflicted that upon yourself. You knew you were well offside, and you're still backing in.
Yeah.
Vargas, I think, as a goalkeeper, could have just come up and claimed it because he knows it's offside, didn't have to run through him. Embolo's the one who will come off second best, just because you didn't see it coming. Vargas, of course, in a lot of pain, but on Embolo, it's that, I can see the ball, then like a train, he drives through him, doesn't he? Does Vargas in goal. I can imagine Embolo's the first one back to his feet, to be quite honest. So it was one of them that could have been avoided, if we're honest, on both sides. Embolo could have just knew he were offside and stopped. Vargas could have not come out as aggressively as he did. But as both players, I think they will both understand, look, we were going for the ball, maybe a little bit too much in it. But again, I hope it's not too physical and no one gets hurt. But again, that can be that little bit of, all right, just get this game of tempo going after the hydration break. You don't just want both teams to settle, do we now? We want them to go forward and create many chances.
Yeah, both players are fine. The thing is for Bril Embolo is he took that absolute clattering, but he was offside anyway. So he's done all that for nothing, really, unfortunately. But we're getting back underway with sort of the free kick for the offside, I believe, actually. Ball forward on the near side. Diaz is going to chase. Of course, it's Diaz. He's done well there, the substitute, and there's a volley out by Cobelt. In the end, it was Muheim that's got a late one on. As ball flicked forward, it's going to be the man in the centre. Campas is going to try and move it forward and dance around. As he moves it forward, is he onside? Ball in! Was he onside? Referee puts him offside. The line-up now was offside, but did he know he was offside? Because that was such an underwhelming ball in. He's passed it straight to the keeper, Quintero. Did he? If he didn't know he was offside, that was a horrific ball. Yeah, and sometimes, even if you think you're offside, you just got to play the pass if you're not, because... Play to the whistle, of course.
How many times have we seen players think they're offside, they're not, and then they could have scored? The referees give that. That's a great tackle for me from Lerma. Ryder, I think, he turns his back on him, but I think Lerma goes round him. I think this is a great tackle. We'll watch it back. Munoz loses out.
It's a good tackle.
That's a great tackle.
Brilliant tackle.
I think that's very unfortunate for the midfielder.
Yeah, I think he can feel very hard done by there. The number 16 gone in on his man, won the ball, but because he's fallen over, he thinks it's a foul. It's a poor decision by the referee. He's had a decent game so far. Ball forward looking. Daniel Munoz has clipped that one out. That's a poor pass around the corner from Lerma. I think it's just starting to look a little bit heavy-legged, and that will not help Colombia, really. He's such an important figure in that team. Cordoba is on the bench, the forward man who got injured, but is he just making up numbers? I'm not quite sure. He was already carrying injury into the Ghana game, and then he picked one up minutes in. I don't think he's going to be fit to play, so Luis Suarez is probably going to have to play the full haul, maybe even the full 2 hours if we go to extra time and it doesn't get settled. Ball's it forward. That's a good pass. And Quintero moves it inside for Diaz, and it's behind him. That's a poor pass. 14 to go. We've had injuries now. We've had substitutions. I think we're going to be looking at least 5 minutes. A ball forward. Sanchez, does he have this under control? He was slow to the ball, but just about. Vargas is going to absolutely launch this forward. Luis Suarez did get a touch, but not much he could do about it. And it will be collected up by Akanji, who's not decided to play it back to his keeper, and then he's clipped, so he has got away with it. Quintero got in too hard on his man, but it will be a foul. But it was actually Campas there that was going in on his man, but I don't know why Akanji didn't just go back to his keeper, and he kind of got away with one, the fact that he was clipped.
Yeah, I think that's one of them where Akanji knows what he's doing, but you can just avoid all of the issues of getting a bit of a clip and getting a bit of a whack and being put under pressure. But as you say, just passing it back to your goalkeeper. And that is so close to him. Yes, clipping him, but clipping him and coming away with the ball more importantly. That he's inches away, isn't it? There. I mean, Akanji goes down. I mean, he's been clipped. Not saying painful, but you'd have thought he'd had a 2-footer on him there, wouldn't you? But I think Colombia, they're just now waiting for a chance. They're waiting for that. Can we get the ball? Can we get the ball right and come forward? We're going to press high when we can, and it's one of them. Does either team want to go for it? We spoke about in the Argentina-Egypt game. We felt that Egypt went further forward because they went. Our best chance is to win it now than in the extra 30 minutes. Neither of this team have gone extra 30 yet, so that would be something that would play on your mind, that they might be happy to go an extra 30 possibly.
Yeah. 55% possession for the Swiss. They boast more possession in the game. That's a horrific long ball forward. It'll be a goal kick for Colombia. 3 attempts, none on target for the Swiss. 2 attempts, 1 on target for Colombia. So it's not been raining shots in front of goal in this second half. Neither in this game. Both have 2 on target apiece. And this one, Luis Suarez picked up a yellow card. Did we call that? I don't know if we picked that one up.
It was when he pulled Cobell.
That's right, yeah.
We didn't see it on our broadcast.
Yeah, we didn't, but they did register it. But Colombia do have themselves a yellow card. Ball into Diaz, traps in the boot. Is a push in the back. Referee's not interested in that one. Battle in the centre. That's a late one on Xhaka, but he nips round his man. Chance to get forward here. Munoz had the opening to put a foot in. Didn't. Ball around the corner that he wasn't really looking at, but it has found his man. Over to the far side for the Swiss. So he's going to put a dangerous ball in. Good defensive header out to the edge of the box. Aren't closing down at the minute. Looks slightly heavy-legged here, the Colombians. Ball back to the edge of the box. Maybe chance to shoot. Not closed down. Ball to the back post. Header out by Munoz. Very well. And Campas is going to get there in the end. He's going to win the legged race against Ndoye. Fresher legs. Is that a free kick? Referee says coming together. And interesting decision. Munoz not happy with it. Ndoye, inside they come. Just look a bit outnumbered here, coming backwards at Colombia. Swiss, right-hand side. Ball into the box, deflects, does it? It's going to go out. I think it's going to go out for a goal kick. I thought it took a touch, but in the end, it's going to be a goal kick. But the Swiss are they're more dangerous than Colombia going forward in the second half, that's for sure. Just in that vital moment, that bit of quality, just lacking.
Yeah, missing that final ball at the end of the day. You feel that
so much time there.
Well, that's it. It feels rushed, but it feels rushed without being too rushed. I think that's the problem, whereas they're having more of the ball, but I just feel more confident that if, for example, you get into Quintera, into Diaz, I feel a bit more confident that they could, into Puerta, I feel more confident they would create something, even if they're going to get less of an opportunity. Diaz there is, Mbolo on Sanchez, Davinson Sanchez, he isn't happy with something. With the push there, and again, just counter it down. Again, if anything, Munoz trying to counter it down. Colombia are the ones who I think need to do that more of, because that's to their advantage, isn't it? Yep. But we saw it in the Argentina-Egypt game. Once it got to pushing and shoving and people getting in each other's faces and getting ugly and gritty, Argentina took it to another level. Egypt kind of shrunk and look, that's how the South American style of play is. It's that physicality. It's, well, 2-foot you, but then I'll shake your hand afterwards because it's to win for the game. Whereas the Swiss aren't really up for that sometimes.
No, absolutely. Vargas is going to kick long for Colombia from the free kick. That's a push in the back from Munoz, very deliberate as well. So that'll be a free kick for Dan Ndoye. He just got a nudge in the back. He's been in the wars, hasn't he? I think Colombia are just cooking up some more substitutions down on the near side, as we can see. I think a couple of players are going to be coming on. But a free kick for the Swiss. Trying to see who it is. I think Rios will be coming on, who's been used as a sub numerous times in this game. I think Cucho Hernandez, probably the obvious ones. Cucho Hernandez, the Real Betis man as well. So 2 attacking changes, it has to be said. Rios is more of an attacking midfielder. Brings a lot of energy. We saw that in the Ghana game. Akanji just at the back, standing still on the ball. 9.5 to play. Unofficial independent off-tube studio commentary. The last of the round of 16. Who's going to face Argentina in the next round on early Sunday morning? Well, they haven't got long to split these two, unless we're going for an extra 30 minutes. It's still 0-0, unofficial independent off-tube studio commentary on our screens from the BC Place in Vancouver. Zakaria to the far side, on halfway, back it goes to Freuler, who's been, I think, very good in the midfield alongside Xhaka this afternoon. Back with Akanji. Still not made them substitutions with 9 to go, plus an additional, I'd say, 5 minutes at this point. Far side it goes for So, one of the substitutes. Back it goes into the centre of the pitch. Colombia have been the second best team in the second half, that's for sure. A very balanced, fine game in the first, with Colombia, I think, taking the edge. Switzerland have been a much better side in the second half, that's for sure. Dan Ndoye, left side of the box. Going to get a ball into the box. Back he goes to Freuler. Back to the near side to Fabian Reider. Ball forward by another substitute, Muheim. But Daniel Munoz again is there for his side. And a throw in near side for the Swiss, and maybe a chance for them substitutions. And we are going to get them substitutions. Interesting that they are attacking substitutions as well, Raf.
Yeah, and it looks like it's Suarez, I saw 25 go up there, and Hernandez will be coming on. And well, I'm surprised that we haven't seen more of him, because in the first game against Uzbekistan, in the last minute he won the ball on the right hand side, battle for it, one of the best battles I've seen in the last minutes to win the ball. Whipped a beautiful ball in for Campas. Well, we thought Cucho Hernandez, what, about 5'9", 5'8". Campas is even small, about 5'5", and he put it right on his head, and that was 3-1 and finished the game off. Looks like Rios is on for Lerma as well, so you're right, I can almost maybe imagine that it's Rios and Puerta as defensive midfielders, but it's almost because we don't have one defensive midfielder, we'll put two together almost to do the dirty work. Ball down the left hand side off of Munoz. It's fresh legs in the middle though with Rios. I really like him, and I think him and Puerta, that's a really good duo in the middle. Yeah,
absolutely. Does Cucho Hernandez play out wide with Diaz up top, or do you think he sticks with Hernandez in the centre?
I would say Hernandez in the centre, but maybe the fresh legs, you're right, get Diaz more centrally, but Hernandez up and down the wing. I wouldn't say that would be a bad idea at all.
Well, the Swiss is trying to finish strong with 7 to play. They've got themselves a corner on the near side with Fabian Reider to take it. Number 22 needs to be a good ball in it. Looks it as well. Good defensive header to the edge of the box. Xhaka trying to feed it back in. Header comes out by Cucho Hernandez. Is that a foul on Majica? And the referee's not going to blow his whistle, but they're going to get on the counter-attack. There's a 4-on-2 here. If the ball's right to the near side, he's coming over to the near side to meet it, and a ball through as well. Just overhit. Oh, the keeper's flapped it over to the far side. Cabell couldn't get hold of it. And then an offside comes in to save the Swiss. I mean, he's normally so reliant, Gregor Kobel, in goal. And Quintero with the first-time ball. I can see what he's doing. He's running towards the ball. It was high and hanging to then meet it and get the ball forward as quick as possible. It's a really good idea. And I think he's just about offside as he leant in with the left. Was it Campas? He just leant in with the top half of the left side. It is incredibly close.
It is, but he doesn't touch the ball, or is it because he gets involved in the play?
Maybe he's forced the keeper to come out and make the touch.
Yeah, possibly. Sorry, I saw the offside. I was thinking it was Quintero at first. And I mean, credit to Quintero playing that first time pass. Great touch there from Mbolo. And the foul come the Swiss.
As he's on the right hand side, he's going backwards to Freuler. Around the corner they come. 6 to play. Over to the near side to Muheim, who's got space on this near side as gaps open up into the edge of the box. Good defensive tackle at the last minute in the back on the edge of the box. Just Colombia do look tired at the back at the minute, and it's Majica to play a left-footed ball down the line. It looks like Diaz is still playing on that left side. Majica's going to get on his overlap as well, creates a space to move inside as gaps do open up. He'll be punched to the near side as well. Munoz to go on the overlap. 5.5 to go between these two. It's finally in the balance at the minute, and it remains 0-0. Over to the near side to Campas, trying to get a ball in, is blocked, and they're just going to try recycle it. Is he going to keep it in? He is. And chance to come again with Quintero. Runs inside, zips it into the chest, and over the top by Campas. That's a good touch as well by the number 21, trying to get away from his man. Flicks it forward. Kanji's there as well. Maheim's going to clear it. And then now a chance for the Swiss to maybe get on the counter. That's an overhit pass, though. It's not good enough. It's not going to give Mbolo a chance, but he forces a throw on the near side. Not going to be a foul, I don't think, against Sanchez on Mbolo, who stayed down. We're going to get a couple of Swiss substitutions, I think.
Yeah, I think as well it was not a great pass. I don't know if Sanchez injures himself more as he rolls.
I don't think that's a foul. Oh, it was a bit of a landing on him.
I think it's a landing. I think you're right. I don't think it's a foul, but you can definitely see why Sanchez has gone down in a bit of a heap, can't you? I think the referee will probably just give the throw-in because it was last off for Sanchez for the Swiss. But you are right, double change coming up. We're just waiting to see who's coming off the field of play. I don't think the fourth officials have been fully given the numbers. Well, now they have Breel Mbolo. His game is done and dusted. It's just one of them. He's just never really involved in the game, unfortunately. You felt, didn't you? He would hold the play up well, and then he'd play a good pass, but then he wouldn't get in the box, would he? He wasn't a presence in there. He's a big, strong, physical forward, and I think he could have done a lot more in this game. I think he's a good creative workhorse of a striker. Maybe not the out-and-out finisher you'd want, though. And Zakaria as well will be coming off.
Yeah, Zakaria will be coming off. The former Chelsea man, the number 6. And the number 2, Sylvan Vidma, will be coming on, plays for Mainz. And like I say, Bruno and Bumbo come off. And Cedric Itten coming on, the Werder Bremen man playing his football in the Bundesliga. As he's got himself about, but not much in front of goal for Braylen Bomo. But Itten, number 26, to lead the line, the big number 26. Vargas to get the game back underway. So we're just over 3 minutes away from finding out how much additional time there'll be. It remains 0-0. Can either of these two teams snatch it at the death to punch their ticket into the quarters at Kansas City between themselves and the reigning champs, Argentina? Ball's going to go forward. That's a foul in the centre on Cucho Hernandez, who took a really nice first touch, the number 19, and then clipped by Manuel Akanji in the centre of the pitch, and a free kick. It's really surprised me, actually, the way the first half went. It was a brilliant game. This second half maybe not hitting the heights as the first half did, but I'm really surprised the Colombia performance. Is it down to fitness? Who knows? We've seen the fitness of Argentina, but I think Colombia, in terms of all-around quality, are the better side, but I think they've let themselves down in the second half so far. Yeah,
I think they've let the Swiss play the football, haven't they? That's been the problem, and there's no wrong with sitting back and...
But they never looked interested in going for the goal, did they?
No, you're right, that's the problem. And for example, when Egypt sat back into Argentina, they sit back, but whenever they could come forward, they would flood with bodies, wouldn't they? Whereas you just felt that, yes, they have more dangerous players by far, not to do Colombia, no offence. But how many times did they get James in a good position or Luis Diaz in a good position? Well, I say that Diaz has got a ball on the left-hand side. Here they come.
Lovely ball to the back post, is it? It's over here, and it will be a goal kick managed to deck in Campas. He's saying an arm came out, but I think it's a desperate call by the number 21, because I think he saw the ball flying over his head. It's going out for a goal kick, so let's throw myself at any contact. We'll have another look.
Watch it back, but I do think you're right. No. I mean, he said it's on his shoulder, it's hardly even on his arm, isn't it? So it's one of them that maybe again in an older day when you can't watch a VAR replay as well if you wanted to look at it.
Maybe in the Prem.
Yeah, maybe. I think that's why if you're a referee, that's where you rely on your linesman, don't you? For your linesman say, no, look, this happened, I think this is that. It might be very difficult for that's a big header and then a big fall from Campas as well. And I think both teams now, stoppage time will be interesting. You said about 4 minutes earlier. I know we've had substitutions and stuff.
A bit more
now.
Probably say about 6.
Does either team look and go 6 minutes? Are we going to hold out for another 30 with those 6? Or could we go and win it in those 6 minutes? That'll be the difference makers. A lot of gun faces on both these teams' faces. And I mean, with Argentina, as you rightly said, when we've seen how gotten Argentina can be got at in the previous 2 games, I think it's a massive opportunity for both these sides to maybe beat them, move on to the semis.
Yeah, it's a game like this, it doesn't really open up. It goes the other way and it tightens because we're getting to the latter stage of the game. There's a lot to lose, so teams don't like to open up in this sort of game. I mean, we saw it in the Argentina-Egypt game. That was just down to legs in a big favoured, heavy matchup. But this game, quite an level tie. Richard Rios done brilliant there, and he's been bowled over on the edge of his own box. Is the referee given a free kick? He hasn't, and I think Colombia just stopped there for a second and thought they were getting the free kick, but they didn't. It's over on the far side. There's a man down in the centre for Switzerland. I say in the centre of Colombia's box. He's getting back to his feet now, trying to see who it is. It's back on halfway with Akanji. We're ticking to 90 minutes in a second, and we'll find out how much additional time to be. I said 6. It's going to be 5. I think that's fair, to be frank. And it's over on the far side with the Swiss. Dummy goes in, no man behind him on the same wavelength. And it's time for Rios to carry the ball forward. And there's gaps. Oh, it's a good interception at the back by Elvedi, who's had a very solid game in centre half for the Swiss. With 5 minutes, can either of these two teams snatch the game right at the death? Xhaka's going to try it for the team in all red. As right to left they come. They're standing off him at the minute. The ball's going to be fed through to the edge of the box. Ball pulled across with the shot. But it looks like it may just roll all the way out. Danny Doy on that diagonal again. And it's going to go out actually for a throw-in right in the corner for Colombia. But insanely hard to score a goal on that angle right at the byline.
Yeah, and he's probably looking in the box and he doesn't even get his head up, I will say. But you got to do that. It's a bit of both. I think he's probably going off and drag it across. Maybe the keeper saves it, or maybe someone gets on the end of it. You've got to almost make your decision up of, do I want to go for goal, or do I want to, watching that back, I think that's a little bit, it sounds, he does collide.
Does he run into him?
Yeah, is it the leg left out by Sanchez?
Or does he run into his?
Yeah, it's one of them where, again, we covered the Argentine again with the disallowed goal. The question would be, is if that's not given on the field, is it enough to overturn it in Doyle? That'll be his last action. Vargas is on for him, but at 5 minutes stoppage time, just over 3.5 to go, you'd probably say that we're extra time bound here.
Yeah, with 3.5 to play. And I think the draw is probably the correct result of what we've seen in the hour and a half of football. Just back with Vargas at the minute and chested down by his centre-half. So he stands on the ball, he's just waiting. He can take it in his hands if he wants to, but he's not closed down. Move to the near side to Sanchez and over to Munoz. If you were going to bat me in a corner and say if a team was to win this in extra time, who would it be? I'd be back in Switzerland, to be honest, with what we've seen in this second half. They've been brilliant, and they just look tired, the Colombians, unfortunately. And going forward, they just don't look like they have much at the minute. Diaz he's the main guy, he's the main outlet, isn't he? And we haven't really seen, he looks tired as well. It's on the far side with the Swiss on halfway, and they go backwards in their own half. We're halfway through that 5 minutes already. It's gone very, very quickly, it has to be said. Into the centre to Xhaka, and moves it back to Alvedi, and they just stay on the ball, the Swiss, coming forward. 55% possession still for the team in red, and ball into the near side for Vargas. His first touch is just to shift it backwards to Muheim, and you look left side for the Swiss. Akanji over to the far side to Alvedi, just trying to pick a pass. That's a good ball and a good spin. Moved on to the far side, chance to cross. Ball's going to come in low, and it's taking a nick off a Colombia body, and we'll have ourselves a Switzerland corner.
Could be late drama here, couldn't there? Of course, Argentina scored in stoppage time, and that kept South American hearts alive. But this could break South American hearts if Colombia were to concede now, and it's a big opportunity, as we all know. I do think Colombia are very well versed to deal with corners, defending them, attacking them. But the Swiss, they're the ones pushing at the end of this game.
Yeah, and it's going to be an in-swinging left footer from Ruben Ryder. He's been on all of them. Fabian Ryder, I should say, apologies. Referee's just going to have a word with Akanji at the front. He's probably going to be the target. Richard Rios, heavily on his back. Very handsy, them too. You'd feel like it's going to be a dipped, vicious left-footed ball into the front post. They've dealt with them all so far. They're going to deal with this one. There they are. It's Davinson Sanchez there in the heart of his 6-yard box, and then headed once again. Diaz will get there as well, and he's just about fed it through himself, but there's a Freuler there again, just hooked to the far side, and he's left unmarked here. And then there's a ball down the line. Chance for the Swiss to come forward, and it's a good tackle in there. They're going to ask for a corner, but it's going to be a goal kick. And it was the substitute, the number 3, trying to get there in Vidma, and in the end he just couldn't as he battled away, but in the end it just ricocheted off him. But it will be a goal kick just shy of a minute to go, and it looks like we're facing an extra half hour.
I think it looks like we are. Both teams have, again, you got 40 seconds left. I don't think at this point you're even risking it. If I'm Colombia, you just keep the ball, don't you? And you just make sure you don't make any mistakes at the back. And if I doubt even something opens up, I say that they've lost the ball. Xhaka plays it down the left. Here come the Swiss, maybe.
Ruben Vargas, left-hand side, dances in. It goes into a pocket of space for Xhaka, and then he's taken down. Referee's going to give it, and I think it was a tackle that he knew he had to sort of make because Xhaka was going towards goal, and it was Campas that's taken his man down. It's the last action of this second half, and it will be either extra time or a Switzerland late winner, but that's in a really dangerous position to whip this ball in.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just looking at the referee. I don't have a clue what he's asking for. He was pointing to the. He's given the free kick for Colombia. Sorry, he was pointing this and pointing there. I was very, very confused. Nathan was having a look at me and I was confused. But that is a full time. We are heading to an extra 30 minutes. It's been an intense game. 30 minutes ahead. Do join us shortly. It's finished Switzerland 0, Colombia 0. Bound for extra time. 0-0 after 90 minutes between Switzerland and Colombia, the final round of 16 game. Who will go on to face Argentina? Well, we've got an extra 30 minutes to find out. Do join us shortly for extra time of Switzerland and Colombia. 0-0 after 90 minutes between Switzerland and Colombia, the final round of 16 game. Who will go on to face Argentina? Well, we've got an extra 30 minutes to find out. Do join us shortly for extra time of Switzerland and Colombia. 0-0 after 90 minutes between Switzerland and Colombia, the final round of 16 game. Who will go on to face Argentina? Well, we've got an extra 30 minutes to find out. Do join us shortly for extra time of Switzerland and Colombia. 0-0 after 90 minutes between Switzerland and Colombia, the final round of 16 game. Who will go on to face Argentina? Well, we've got an extra 30 minutes to find out. Do join us shortly for extra time of Switzerland and Colombia. 0-0 after 90 minutes between Switzerland and Colombia, the final round of 16 game. Who will go on to face Argentina? Well, we've got an extra 30 minutes to find out. Do join us shortly for extra time of Switzerland and Colombia. 0-0 after 90 minutes between Switzerland and Colombia, the final round of 16 game. Who will go on to face Argentina? Well, we've got an extra 30 minutes to find out. Do join us shortly for extra time of Switzerland and Colombia. 0-0 after 90 minutes between Switzerland and Colombia, the final round of 16 game. Who will go on to face Argentina? Well, we've got an extra 30 minutes to find out. Do join us shortly for extra time of Switzerland and Colombia. 0-0 after 90 minutes between Switzerland and Colombia, the final round of 16 game. Who will go on to face Argentina? Well, we've got an extra 30 minutes to find out. Do join us shortly for extra time of Switzerland and Colombia. 0-0 after 90 minutes between Switzerland and Colombia, the final round of 16 game. Who will go on to face Argentina? Well, we've got an extra 30 minutes to find out. Do join us shortly for extra time of Switzerland and Colombia. 0-0 after 90 minutes between Switzerland and Colombia, the final round of 16 game. Who will go on to face Argentina? Well, we've got an extra 30 minutes to find out. Do join us shortly for extra time of Switzerland and Colombia. 0-0 after 90 minutes between Switzerland and Colombia, the final round of 16 game. Who will go on to face Argentina? Well, we've got an extra 30 minutes to find out. Do join us shortly for extra time of Switzerland and Colombia. 0-0 after 90 minutes between Switzerland and Colombia, the final round of 16 game. Who will go on to face Argentina? Well, we've got an extra 30 minutes to find out. Do join us shortly for extra time of Switzerland and Colombia. 0-0 after 90 minutes between Switzerland and Colombia. And it is a warm welcome back to this evening's unofficial independent off-tube studio commentary of all the action from Vancouver at the BC Place Stadium. Round of 16 action comes down to extra time. It's Switzerland 0, Colombia 0. Nothing to separate the two sides in the 90. I've got a feeling nothing will separate them in this extra 30. As well, the winner of this tie, of course, will go on to face Argentina in Kansas City on Saturday evening, Sunday morning for us, if you will. Here in the UK, it's English audio commentary coverage. Just has been no substitutions at the break going into extra time. It's myself, Lewis Raftery. I'm joined by Nathan Wastel to take through all the action in extra time. I'll be taking you through the first 15 minutes and then I'll pass over to Nathan for the second 15 minutes. Ball forward over the top, Quintero into Munoz. As I said, doesn't seem to be any changes, so it looks to be Corbell in goal. Back forward of Vidma, Elvedi, Akanji and Nuheim. As I will bring a pause, as that's a good ball over to Diaz. Is he caught there? Yes, he is, by one of the substitutions there in Vidma. Quiet game coming on in the second half, but he's brought down, he's hacked down Diaz. Freuler and the yellow card of Xhaka are in the middle, with a front four of Vargas, So, Item and Ryder. He just gets it. It's one. If Vidma gets there first, Diaz takes it down as a foul. It's a little bit unfortunate, realistically, but it's a dangerous free kick for Colombia. It's Vargas in goal for Nestor Lorenzo's side. Munoz, Sanchez, Lucchini and Mojica, the back four. Midfield three of Campas, Rios and Puerta, with Quintero, Hernandez and Diaz, forward three. So on the left-hand side, just outside the penalty area by maybe 10 yards, if that. I thought Diaz was standing over it for a right-footed option, but it will be Quintero to take. Man who came on for James Rodriguez, a wonderful left foot. It's a great delivery into the box. Cleared away, falls into the box. He's had a shot for a penalty. Referee says no. Colombia are furious. They're incensed that it should be a penalty. It's one of them where I think it does look like more of a collision, but the Colombian man comes off worse, if you will. The referee, I think, has had a quality game, if I'm being bluntly honest. Ivan Barnes on the El Salvador referee. I'm sure he's gaining a lot of fans from this World Cup alone. We'll watch it back. It's Campas. He takes a touch. It's one of the substitute, Muheim. I will say his right leg's there, but he pulls his right leg away. Yeah. I think Campas is more going over him to protect himself and thinking I might take a whack here, but I don't think that's a fair penalty at all.
No, I agree. I think he's pulled out. I think last minute he's planting his leg to get the balance, and then all of a sudden he's pulling backwards to try and they've just tangled legs. I think he made the correct decision there, the El Salvador referee. Has it gone to VAR? I'm not quite sure that they're setting up like it's a goal kick. I think he's just trying to get the confirmation from VAR, and there we go, no penalty. I'm agreeing with you, and apparently so are the officials. Good decision.
Yeah, it feels a lot of validity there, and then a foul's being left in on Muheim. I'm not sure by who. Cameras might go to Campas. I'm not too sure. The fullback is still down. Yes, it is Campas. Just leaving one in there.
Receipt.
A receipt, if you've ever seen one there. Excuse me, from on the left back, but. We're looking at yellow cards. I thought there would have been a lot more yellow cards in this game than there was. Maybe that's just me looking at how yellow cards are given out in normal Premier League, Champions League games across Europe as well. They have been kind of brought back a little bit, haven't they, during the World Cup? We've saw a lot of games with maybe cards coming really, really late on. Switzerland playing a dangerous game, playing out of the back, but that does mean there's a bit of space now in behind as the ball is rolled. Item, is he taken down there? Referee's going to say yes. And speak about yellow cards, well, that's going to be a yellow card for the Colombian defender, the skipper, Davinson Sanchez. What I will say is, I do think it is a foul. I think he's got his arms all over Item. I think Item's trying to block him off and he's brought down and maybe loses his own balance. What I don't like is that the referee gives it, but the linesman who is closer doesn't give it. I never really like when it's almost a referee going, no, I think it's a foul, and I overrule a little bit.
I don't think that's a foul. I think he's grabbing Davinson Sanchez's shirt as well. I think it's 6 to 1, half dozen of the other. If you're going off the consistency of this referee who's been fantastically not to get baited into them sort of duels, I think he's sort of baited into that one a little bit, and where it is, he's giving Sanchez the yellow card, but if you look back on the replay, they're grabbing each other. I just think it's one of them that you shake hands and say, get on with it. And I think you feel a little bit hard done by there, Sanchez. And I think the assistant manager, I should say, for Colombia, Nestor Lorenzo's number 2, had a lot of words to say to the officials after that. I don't think he agreed.
Yeah, what a job to be a fourth official. You get a right earwig, don't you, from everyone on the bench from both sides. Not when they're happy, but when they're unhappy, they'll let you know. Free kick from that, just booted Longfield on the left-hand side. Munoz will deal with it. Vargas will come out to claim it. There's a play down for Switzerland just inside the Colombian half. It's Ryder. Referee just says get up to him, basically. Myself and Neves, we're just watching back. Nestor Lorenzo's there. They're just showing the replay of the yellow card for one of his assistant coaches, or his assistant coach there. Stuff and will talk about a beautiful jersey though that they're all wearing on the sidelines, very colourful as well. There's been some fantastic jerseys throughout this tournament. What a touch from Campas there. Unfortunately, I think he just gets ahead of himself. It's one of them where you do something really well and then he can't keep up with himself almost, and it trickles out of play for a Switzerland throw-in. And if we're looking ahead of course, as we've already spoke about, that's a silly foul given away by Munoz. I believe it's that Vargas, and he gets just when he knocks him in behind, and it's almost that knee on the lower back, the tailbone. It can be quite sore. We saw it. I think was it Neymar in the 2014 World Cup took a bit of a whack. It's just sore because again you don't see it coming. Maybe Vargas is making a meal of it, but I can't imagine it's painful. If I'm being brutally honest. If we're looking ahead, of course the winner of this faces Argentina. Will Argentina favour a team Argentina looked underwhelming? Which team on paper do you think Argentina look and go? Colombia, it's a South American affair. We know we're going to get Switzerland. Maybe not as much.
Honestly, It's hard. Colombia and Argentina are two such physical teams, and it may become a scrappy game. I think, honestly, the way Switzerland play and how disciplined they are and organised, Argentina will struggle against that. You know, they've got the engine in them as well. But one thing that is going to help Argentina, they went into extra time against Cabo Verde. But now these two teams have gone into extra time. They've gone the extra half an hour before Sunday, so they're at a bit of a disadvantage with that. So fitness levels have to be on a high for these two teams. They have to be well rested in there as well. Lukumi just going in on his man. I don't think he's happy with something. But yeah, Argentina, it's hard for them. I think they'd struggle against Switzerland to break them down. And unlike Egypt, of course, Egypt were fantastic. I mean, nothing against them, but their fitness levels ran out, just over half an hour into the game, so it'll be tough for them. They've just given the ball away, Colombia. Need to be careful of winning it back, though. But yeah, I think they'd struggle against Switzerland. I think both of these two teams would fancy themselves against Argentina of what they've seen so far.
Well, I would agree with that. Lovely ball from Campas from right to left, looking for Luis Diaz. Tries to take on his man. Heavy touch. He's well defended from Vidmir, but it's just maybe a little bit of fatigue from Diaz. I mean, I know he's got a great engine on him, with all these Colombian players have. But that's just a heavy touch. It's almost felt of heavy legs there.
Yeah, absolutely. He had it under his spell, really nice touch, and then all of a sudden it was just slightly away from him, slightly uncharacteristic. I think it was just fatigue getting the better of him. Quintero's going to be taking this out-swinging corner, sending the big lad forward. Not many corners for Colombia in the latter stages of this game.
Not too many, as Nev said. Ball into the box, it's saved onto the post. Still alive in the penalty area, but I think Switzerland just get bodies there and they clear it away. What a delivery, what a leap into the air. It was a bullet header, definitely off the bar. I thought he saved it, did Gregor Gobel, the Dortmund shot stopper, onto the post. Biggest moment of the game, you would probably say. Colombia, can they take that on ball from right to left? Look for Quintero, would have been a lovely touch. They brought that out of the Vancouver skies. And now driving forward here at Switzerland. We say chances open the game up. That's exactly what that's done. That's a poor, lovely 1-2. But the pass back for Vidmir was poor. What a delivery, Lucchini. I mean, that's a mismatch if I've ever seen one. Off his head. I don't know, it might just come off the bar. This might be a better angle. No, he's off the bar. He doesn't save it, does Cobell. So they do say that the goalkeeper's best friend can be his post and his bar. It was right then. Colombia, I think, have got the tails up at the back end of the first half of extra time. Richard Rios goes for goal. Had Cobell scampering, but I don't know if he's scampering to keep the ball in play more than anything. And I think if you have Colombia, that would be a bit frustrating because you want keep the ball, let's keep the pressure on them, and now it just relieves it all.
Yeah, exactly that. The momentum was heighting, and then they've hit the bar, just rattled the bar. Lukimi, I mean, he's the man you mark. They've got Itten. I mean, he's not the smallest, but you'd have a defender on a defender, surely. And yeah, Rios has gone for goal from 40 yards out centrally. No one around him. He could have carried on for an extra 10 yards. It was a really poor decision there. There's going to be a free kick here for Colombia. Just absolutely rattled into Diaz by that man, Itten. But yeah, it's going to be a foul. It was actually Majita that's been rattled into. But yeah, poor decision by Rios. I can't even blame heavy legs and heavy minds because he's only been on for 20-30 minutes.
100%, if that really. If we're being honest. Sanchez coming forward on the right hand side. Munoz gets his head up, lets it roll past him. Campas. What I would say about Colombia is I do think it's unfortunate because I think the players are so high quality. James Rodriguez, Arias, Suarez, a couple of the players, Lerma. I think there's been a drop off since the likes of Campas and Quintero's come on. But now that they're maybe getting into the game, they are showing their qualities. I just think for Colombia, as you said, if you could have got another fit 10-15 minutes out of James Rodriguez, that could have been a different ball game altogether. Here come Colombia though, down the right hand side. Campas, he's really coming to life now. He'll go for a strike outside the area, forcing the save from Cobell. It was one of them where he's swerving in the air. I think Cobell just puts it behind to be safe than sorry.
Well, it's a weird technique. I'm going to have a little look. Cobell was moving across that. He was just going to watch this clear. It's sneaking in. He's led with his forearms. An unorthodox type of technique for the Dortmund keeper. I mean, he saved the ball and put it into touch out of danger, but corner kick Colombia. Very, very strange technique of a save.
Ball comes into the box, keeper clears it away. Was there a foul on the keeper? I do want to say, I think Lucchini did take his momentum into the keeper there. I think that was I know there's a lot of in this tournament and in football at the moment of protecting the keeper. I do think that time Lucchini does kind of back into him there. But yeah, it was almost a volleyball-esque when you tried it, but it came off his arm.
Strange. I don't know why he sort of went with that. Maybe the movement of the ball, I'm not quite sure, but It's been a really strange game. It's been strange because Switzerland were well on top in the second half, and all of a sudden Colombia are back on top in the first half of the extra time. Looks like they're going to be cooking up with substitutions, the Swiss. But is it an instruction to sit back from the man in charge, Murat Yakin? I'm not quite sure, but it's been a strange old game. The draw is worthy, I think, between the two. Both sides have been on top in different phases of the game, but yeah, it's been a strange watch.
I feel at some point as well, because I think you're right. I don't know what's worse, losing an extra time when you both deserve a draw, losing on penalties, because you've got it's so close, it's so far. If you go out on spot kicks. Well, Vargas been fouled there by Rios. He's got to be careful, because if Colombia go through and he picks up a yellow, as we said earlier, he will be suspended. The Benfica midfielder. A change is coming up though now. Number 22, Fabian Ryder, will be leaving the field of play. They have made 5 substitutions of the Swiss. This will be their 6th, of course. Extra time we get a bonus one. There's only 4 have been made by Colombia, if I am correct. So they do have 2 changes to make. Ryder does leave the field. Amdouni comes on to the field of play. Former current Burnley man. I might go on loan. I think still technically is a Burnley player. With those 2 subs up their sleeve though for Colombia, would you use them for a eye on penalties? Would you keep them into the second half of extra time and go, we could bring a penalty taker on, ball forward for the Swiss, it'll fall into the area, heavy touch, it's still in the box, shot comes in, saved by Vargas, so we'll keep the attack alive, ball floating into the back post, item back into a dangerous area, great header away from Uchime, and a boot away from Mojica. Colombia, but that's been this game, hasn't it? I will take the excitement out of my voice as there is an offside up, so maybe I'm doing this, come on, and the instant impact wouldn't have counted for anything. But again, Vargas wasn't to know. It's a great strike from Uchime, even strikes it into the ground, which picks up even more pace. Great save from Vargas, and once again, as we're saying, Colombia, rightfully so, being the better side in stoppage time. Then Switzerland come up and they get a goal.
And that's what feeds into it. I mean, he's
onside.
He's onside, so if that hits the back of the net, then it's a goal. Which now you could probably put the incitement back in your voice, because it would have counted. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Colombia are on top for nearly 15 minutes, and then just before the half time of extra time, Switzerland nearly at the back of the net with first touches for the substitute, Amdouni. So it's been a strange one. Vargas hasn't had a million things to do in the last 20-30 minutes, so credit to him for staying concentrating, getting down sharply to his left to make that save as well.
Yeah, sometimes if you're a goalie, you've got nothing to do, it's harder to quickly respond.
Lock back in,
When you're being peppered, you're always alert, aren't you? I think you're spot on with that one, the Swiss. Well, that gives them a bit of energy, but I just feel that I feel there's a lot of the chances. That's a late foul there by Muheim there on his opposite full-back. Well, I want to say it was opposite full-back in Daniel Munoz. Yellow card coming out for him as well. Watching it back, was it Campas? It was Campas. It's not an arm in the face, but it's more. It's got away from it. It's almost. I'm just going to stop you. Yeah. Almost swatting him away, if you will.
Yeah. In all eyes on his opposition number. So, I mean, you're giving the referee absolutely no choice in that one. Any additional time? I'd probably say no. He'll probably give a minute. Now we're about to tick over the 105. There's usually at least a minute added on. I'd probably just call it, but there is going to be a minute.
There is going to be a minute of stop time. I agree with you. It's almost out of necessity that they're doing that, you feel. Thrown is taken quickly into Hernandez. He was tripped over there, nearly tripped over himself. Swings a lovely ball into Rios. I thought he was going to go for an effort. He's still going, plays it into the area. Shot on goal is blocked away. Corner for Colombia. Well, Rios made a terrible decision making in terms of going for that shot, but that was twinkle toes from the man right there.
Brilliant, absolutely fantastic as well. Finding his feet, you're absolutely right. It's ballet-like on the end of his toes. Just when we think that opening is coming, the door is slammed shut again, not just by one team, by both. Absolutely brilliant block it was as well. Will be a corner, and this is going to be the last play of the first half of extra time.
The opportunity, of course, from this corner as well. Quintero put it right on the head of Uchime, who I think that bar is still vibrating from the headed effort. It was a great leap from the Bologna man. The referee's having a word with him and the skipper Xhaka about the pushing and shoving in the box, and they're just having a chuckle and a smile together. That's why you probably gain a bit of respect from all these players. You're going into a big battle with them. Quintero into the front post it goes, cleared away Colombia will have the ball, and the referee, all eyes on his whistle. I think that will be enough for the half-time of extra time. It is 0-0 after 90 minutes. We'll add another 15 onto that. We're still 0-0. Lucchini with the biggest effort in stoppage in extra time and in the game as a whole. A bullet header off the bar. We will be back in just a moment. Goalless going into the second half of extra time. And we are back for the second half of extra time. There's currently goalless between Switzerland and Colombia, going all the way at the moment. If they're not separated after this next 15 minutes, we're bound for penalties in the last game of the round of 16. The winner to face Argentina is unofficial independent off-tube studio commentary. Switzerland 0, Colombia 0 from the Vancouver Stadium. It's myself, Lewis Raftery, joined by Nathan Wassell, taking you through all the action, and I will pass you over to Nathan to take us through to possibly penalties or late drama.
Thank you, Raf. Last 15 of the round of 16 in the World Cup 2026, an offside against Itten. Just strayed the big man, and it will be a free kick to Colombia. It's been a fair old battle between them two since Itten came on, hasn't it? Getting a bit handsy with each other off the ball there. It's hot and tempered, and I think the referee's getting the sense of that. He's going to call the two players over to address the elephant in the room and clear the air, but it will be a free kick. We've had nearly 2 hours of football, and we are still 0-0 between these two. Of course, you say 0-0, you watch a football game, you want goals, but at the end of the day, we've watched these two go at it in a 0-0 game, and I say, with my chest, I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I must admit. I covered Cabo Verde versus Saudi Arabia 0-0, and I think that lacked the quality that maybe this one does. Two very good sides who have cancelled each other out. Can we find a breakthrough in the back end of this extra time? That's a push in the back on a Switzerland man inside the area. It will be a free kick. I think Diaz is going to be too handsy on Elvedi as he hits the deck. And it will be a free kick for the Swiss, and a free kick for Gregor Kobel to take. He's had a couple of, I won't say shaky moments. There was the offside where he flapped at it and he was forced to, and I thought he could have got hold of that and he flapped it. And then we had that volleyball type technique of the save. Fact of the matter is, the way you're looking at it, he's keeping a clean sheet and he hasn't conceded a goal.
Yeah.
But there's been a couple of moments where I've been like, oh, and I think he's a top quality keeper.
Yeah, and he's been the top number one for forever, realistically, when for the Swiss number one, and rightfully so. It gives out a lot of confidence. A big goalkeeper. I know goalkeeper's that small, but he's big, isn't he? Comes out, makes himself ever so strong. I can imagine if you're 1-on-1 with him, you'd probably have a little bit of where do I go with here? It reminds me of that Courtois, like he's that big, he comes out, Oliver Kahn, Peter Schmeichel kind of type goalkeeper, comes out, wins crosses really, really well. I just think at the moment we have that. I think the problem we've had in this game, it's that, as you spoke about, it's that final pass. That's what we've missed.
Yeah.
And then at this point, we'll just be honest, we're in the round of 16. It's an extra half an hour. It's been a long tournament, a lot of travel from these players. We covered Colombia against Ghana. That was in Kansas City. You've got to get up to Vancouver. I'm not quite sure where the Swiss were in their last game. It's a lot on the legs, isn't it? So I think this is where, unfortunately, the lack of quality we've got and then the fatigue now in this last 15 minutes is starting to catch up a little bit.
I think there's sympathy and then there's a rhyme and reason why they play the way they do now. Maybe in the 90s we thought maybe not, but now it's hit extra time, you sort of sympathise with them. A long ball up in the air, that's taken down by Diaz on the centre circle. He's asking for a free kick, he's not going to get it, the Swiss man, but they have got the ball out with Xhaka into the midfield. He's under pressure and he's gone backwards to Manuel Akanji, the City man. Ball between the midfield, Ruben Vargas on the spin. He's got away from one, can he get away from two? He can't, and then he's tripped in the midfield, and that's a good... it was actually Amdouni in the end that stripped his man. It's actually a very good play by the number 21 Campas in the end, getting the wrong side of his man and then getting the trip. 12 minutes, 11 minutes I should say, away from penalties and spot kicks in this one. Haven't seen many of them, have we? We've seen Morocco and the Netherlands. Of course, Morocco walking away victors in that one. And we've also seen, who we talked about earlier, Egypt against Australia, and Egypt winning their first ever knockout game with them, 4-2. They scored all four as well, so they actually substituted a keeper on as well, Australia, and it made zero difference. They were trying the Tim Krul technique, speaking of Netherlands. Ball into the penalty area, cross comes in, it's blocked, but Munoz might have a second attempt. Akanji just kicked it off Munoz, and it will be a goal kick, and I think that sums up the game. We just think we're going to get on the end of some big moment and the door just closes.
It just felt like Munoz will make that raw ball across the face of goal. Doesn't work out. But we spoke about this coming in, that it's one of them, both teams have got goals behind them, but they're two of the meanest defences in this World Cup so far, aren't they? And I think what the difference is as well, as I wanted to mention this in the second half about Quintero coming on and Campas. They're great players, I'm not knocking that. In this tournament, they've looked a little bit better because they've come on when Colombia are winning. So they're already 1-0 up, so there's a bit more space for them, isn't there? We covered them against Ghana. How many times in that second half after they scored, Ghana threw bodies forward and Colombia had space behind, so Quintero could pick a pass out more than he can now. When it comes on, it's 0-0. It's a little bit, you're trying to come into the game as well. It's a little bit harder, whereas Colombia have been leading in all these times when they brought the subs on, and that's really been the difference. And Switzerland as well, they're a great defensive unit, so let's not take anything away from them. It's just two good attacking sides, yes, but credit, two good defensive sides as well.
I mean, you give your flowers to you as well. You said when we talked about this game, when we knew we'd be on it, we talked about how good defensively these two teams were, and they may just shut each other out. And you even said you could see a 0-0. You never want to manifest that into existence, of course. But you knew how good they were defensively because you've seen both of these two teams. You've covered Colombia's, and I think every single game in this tournament so far. Maybe not the Swiss, but it's no secret how good they are. It's just back with Vargas at the back. He just got it in his hands. But credit to you for saying that, and that's exactly the way it's gone. And defensively, these two teams are completely sound, aren't they?
Oh, 100%. They've got two different centre backs, if you will, at the back. I think Swiss have all that ball-playing technical abilities. And that's not saying that Sanchez and Lucchini out. Sanchez, that's a big tackle coming in there from Dooney on Quintero. Whereas Lucchini and Davinson Sanchez are that old-school, big bullies of defenders. They're good in their own box, they're good attacking them. They're decent on the ball, but they're not going to be pinging passes left, right and centre, whereas Akanji can pick up a ball, and you could play Akanji in midfield, for example, couldn't you? So, and I think Lucchini and Sanchez really complement each other too.
Yeah, only the one goal conceded in 90 minutes still for Colombia, only the 3 for the Swiss. Something's got to give. Colombia got 3 clean sheets in a row and 20 plus shots averaged in the last 3 games, so good defensively and exciting attackingly, and they're coming again near side. Man on the overlap of Munoz. There may be coming a shot from the number 20. It's way over the bar in the end by Quintero. He's opened up with the left foot, and it's going to be a goal kick. But Swiss unbeaten in 7 and Colombia in 6. You could see there wasn't much between them. In the FIFA standings before a ball was kicked, Colombia are 13th and Switzerland are 19th. So the margin is minimal, and that just showing on the pitch today. That was going to be a goal kick. It's 112 minutes in. It's unofficial independent off-tube studio commentary. Switzerland 0, Colombia 0. It's going to go out the right-hand side of their own box with Elvedi. Moves it forward to Vidma, who's been a busy man on that far side, the number 3. Checks it backwards to Freuler. Say the same for himself and into the captain Xhaka. And space to the near side. 7.5 to play. Ruben Vargas, left flank. Maybe checking inside. He's gone back to his overlap with Muheim. And then it returns to Vargas. Going to get a right-footed ball and it's flat. And it's headed out by the first man. Acrobatics by the referee to avoid the ball. May have just pulled something there. He's been running around for the same amount of time these players have. To the near side, Muheim inside. That's a good ball to Xhaka. Pocket of space to the near side. Vargas trying to finish with a flourish. Left side of the box. Step over 1, step over 2. Back to Xhaka. Pocket space. Ball comes in and it's going to be over the bar. It was a shot and he's wrapping the left foot to find that far corner. Got far too much underneath it. Not enough dip. And well, give him credit. It's a tired shot. He had a lot of space as well. Not closed down. For his standards, I remember him doing that for Leverkusen about 20 yards further back. He's got it in his locker, and for his standards he should do better, but you can sympathise with him.
100%. I think you're right. It was probably a little bit further out, so you can kind of get it up and under.
Yeah.
Very similar to when a free kick, you get it up and over if it's a little bit further out. Was that when he did the hamstring fake injury?
Yeah, that's right.
That was similar. That's poor from Colombia. And now it's just a bit of a war of attrition, isn't it? Of who wants it a little bit more. More importantly as well, which we spoke about in the first half extra time, Switzerland can't make any more subs. Injury happens, you can't make any more subs. You want a different penalty, Colombia have 2 subs available, so that could be massive.
Absolutely. Long throw in from Vargas. Header goes in from Colombia not once but twice. Amdouni trying to load up the volley. He's had his pocket pick, but they're going to stab it forward. Sanchez is just going to slam this one clear. He may have given a handball against the Burnley man. The number 23 hasn't had it really his way since he's come on. Had that opportunity with a half volley in the first half of extra time, but might get a replay of it. But what I believe it to be a handball on the edge of the Colombia box. 5.5 to play. At the minute, I don't think we're getting any added time at the end of this.
No, there's been nothing to this.
No subs, have we?
No subs, no stoppage. And now for Nesta Lorenzo, it's important though, because you spoke about the penalties, Egypt and Australia, you brought the goalkeeper on. That backfired, so that didn't work. Germany versus Paraguay. Paraguay bought someone on the last minute because the player was injured, had to step up and take a penalty. Colombia have a chance.
Oh no, it's a huge one as well, and it's over the bar. That's the biggest chance of the game we've had, and it's fallen to the substitute Campas, and it was a substitute that made the mess of Muheim. He made a complete mess of the ball over the top from Vargas, the keeper. It was a launch one. Akanji left it. Oh, it was a big mess at the back. It was actually Xhaka. Oh, he has to bury it, doesn't he? Granted, Xhaka actually was the captain. He made the mess of it, and he's wrapped it. He's one-on-one, right-hand side of the box, Campas, but that left-hand side of the goal is begging to be hit. And he's lent back the substitute, and it's a goal kick.
I think that's one of them where, if I'm being bluntly honest, when you don't have many chances in the game and you have one, you want another 2 or 3 shots, don't you, out of your system to get into the game. I think Switzerland have been the better side, but that Lucchimi header and that right there have been the 2 biggest chances of the game. Yeah,
and we're going to get a free kick here for Colombia. Diaz getting tripped. It may be a card as well. No, it's just the magic spray that tricks me once again. There we go. 35, 40 yards out, far flank, and it will be a ball into the box, I'd think. You can't believe it, the number 4. Elvedi, has a flick. There's not a lot in it. He's gone down very dramatically, Diaz, but there's contact, so it's deemed a foul. 4 minutes to play. Colombia should be 1-0 up. Massive chance for Campas that he put over the top, but Quintero will take this left-footed free kick. Defensive line on the edge of their own box, flat across the edge of their own box for Switzerland. They're starting to finish strongly here, the Colombians. Ball in the box, looks good as well. Flicked onto the front post, maybe kept alive at the near side by Rios. It's gone all the way through to the back side though, and Switzerland are just going to hook this clear in the end. I think there's a man down for Colombia. It's gone into their own half. Majita, full of beans still, somehow nearly tipping 2 hours worth of football. And I think Lucchimi's down holding his left calf, and I think that's an overexertion. It will be cramp. He's asking for the game to be stopped, but it's not a head injury, so they don't have to stop it. Colombia have the ball, so they may just stop this game. Munoz is pointing at him, and we're going to get a stoppage now. I think he's just overexerted himself, the big man. So it will be a stoppage in play, 3 minutes to play. So now we'll probably get added time.
Yeah, now probably at least a minute, won't we? And you know what? That's one of them as well, where you probably look at it and go, how many times do teams and players, I've got cramp in the last 2 minutes. I don't blame that player getting a cramp right there.
No.
The team has signalled that he needs to come off, and this is now a big decision because now they're looking at the bench and it's also looking at the play. It's not just you coming on. You might take a penalty. So who wants to come on and say it's a defender? So we've got to see the game out still. So you want to bring a defensive player on.
Yeah.
But who's going to come on? Do you put Rios at centre back because he could play there? Bring the midfielder on, or does Lachimi just go? I can stick this out? But Lachimi might have to take a penalty, and then he's picked up a knock.
Yeah, he's back to his feet now. We're just waiting for this. It's going to be Yerry Mina, the big centre half, the former Evertonian. Used to seeing him in England in English football. Lacumi's going to make way, and number 3 and number 13. Yerry Mina is going to come on. I believe he actually can take a penalty as well, the big centre-half, if he had to. But Lacumi's going to go off. Now we're going to get a couple of minutes at a time at the end. We're 2 minutes away from full time at the end of extra time. And yes, now we're going to finally get the substitution. So it's been going on a little while, but on he comes the big centre-half, the number 13. And so Lacumi off, the number 3, and number 13, Yerry Mina, comes on some rare minutes in this World Cup. And he goes alongside Davinson Sanchez, who give themselves a warm brace. This is going to be the partnership now to see this second half of extra time out. Early touches for him, he'll welcome them. Back to Vargas he goes in the luminous green. And a kick forward with the left foot. We're a minute away from the 120. And then we'll probably get a minute or two's added time. Akanji into Freuler. He's got a man to his left in Xhaka, who made the mistake. He's going to put it past Munoz, and he will. Ruben Vargas with a fresh leg. Munoz looks like he's struggling. Pulled back to the edge of the box, only to find a Colombia body at the back. And it's well played by the substitute, Quintero, who's just going to wrap it forward. That's a good ball into Cucho Hernandez, who takes it on the chest. Well, that's a lovely 1-2 between them to the near side, and he lets himself down with the touch on halfway. Quintero off his thigh, try to get his body behind the ball, but ran past it in the end, and it'll be a throw in near side for the Swiss. It was a level of almost, but I tell you what, for Colombia, Daniel Munoz is absolutely sensational. But I'd have a little bit of anxiety about Munoz up against the fresh-legged Ruben Vargas, because he looks like he's running very gingerly. That's going to be a free kick deep in their own half for Colombia.
Yeah, they're happy that we're in the final few minutes, aren't we, realistically? And I think that at this point, you're looking at 15 seconds left of the 120, and as you said, a push 2 minutes. Probably a minute a push 2, isn't it, for stoppage time? If I was both teams, I'd be saying, look, I don't want to concede now and lose. I'll go to penalties. It's almost that shaking hands, not shaking hands. And let's go to pens.
You're right.
1 minute stoppage time. You don't want to lose now. If you lose in 112 minutes, okay. 118, okay. Not in the last minute of the game when you're so close to a quarter-final.
And they thought they had a throw in deep in the Swiss half, but it's gone the way of the Reds on the near side. The fans are starting to look full of anxiety now in Vancouver. He's taken the throw in very fast. There we go. He's been told to go back. The number 2, Muheim, who's probably just going to throw this down. He's gone inside to Xhaka. And Muheim back to Akanji. May just play out from the back. It's actually very savvily played. Elvedi over to his keeper, Kobel, who's going to kick right-footed. With 20 seconds to play, it's now or never. A flick on that's only finding Yerry Mina, who's going to go back to Vargas. He's going to kick it long with the left foot. 15 seconds deep into the Swiss half, chested down. Xhaka to the near side. Muheim, now or never for these two teams. We're into the stoppage time. It's been left by Amdouni, and Yerry Mina's picked it up. You have to be careful. Very, very calm. Back to Munoz. He's been pushed. He's had a free kick. It's been given, and the referee is going to blow for full time. In the round of 16, we are going to penalties between Switzerland and Colombia. Stay with us. We'll be back very shortly for the penalty kicks.
After 120 minutes of football couldn't separate these two sides, we're off to a penalty shootout to find out who will face Argentina in the final quarter-final Sunday morning UK time. The final round of 16 game, well, penalties are bound. It's Switzerland 0, Colombia 0. No goals in 120 minutes, but a penalty shootout is just ahead of us. Join us shortly for that said penalty shootout. After 120 minutes of football couldn't separate these two sides, we're off to a penalty shootout to find out who will face Argentina in the final quarter-final Sunday morning UK time. The final round of 16 game, well, penalties are bound. It's Switzerland 0, Colombia 0. No goals in 120 minutes, but a penalty shootout is just ahead of us. Join us shortly for that said penalty shootout. After 120 minutes of football couldn't separate these two sides, we're off to a penalty shootout to find out who will face Argentina in the final quarter-final Sunday morning UK time. The final round of 16 game, well, penalties are bound. It's Switzerland 0, Colombia 0. No goals in 120 minutes, but a penalty shootout is just ahead of us. Join us shortly for that said penalty shootout. After 120 minutes of football couldn't separate these two sides, we're off to a penalty shootout to find out who will face Argentina in the final quarter-final Sunday morning UK time. The final round of 16 game, well, penalties are bound. It's Switzerland 0, Colombia 0. No goals in 120 minutes, but a penalty shootout is just ahead of us. Join us shortly for that said penalty shootout. After 120 minutes of football couldn't separate these two sides, we're off to a penalty shootout to find out who will face Argentina in the final quarter-final Sunday morning UK time. The final round of 16 game, well, penalties are bound. It's Switzerland 0, Colombia 0. No goals in 120 minutes, but a penalty shootout is just ahead of us. Join us shortly for that said penalty shootout. After 120 minutes of football couldn't separate these two sides, we're off to a penalty shootout to find out who will face Argentina in the final quarter-final Sunday morning UK time. The final round of 16 game, well, penalties are bound. It's Switzerland 0, Colombia 0. No goals in 120 minutes, but a penalty shootout is just ahead of us. Join us shortly for that said penalty shootout. After 120 minutes of football couldn't separate these two sides, we're off to a penalty shootout to find out who will face Argentina in the final quarter-final Sunday morning UK time. The final round of 16 game, well, penalties are bound. It's Switzerland 0, Colombia 0. No goals in 120 minutes, but a penalty shootout is just ahead of us. Join us shortly for that said penalty shootout. After 120 minutes of football couldn't separate these two sides, we're off to a penalty shootout to find out who will face Argentina in the final quarter-final Sunday morning UK time. The final round of 16 game, well, penalties are bound. It's Switzerland 0, Colombia 0. No goals in 120 minutes, but a penalty shootout is just ahead of us. Join us shortly for that said penalty shootout. After 120 minutes of football couldn't separate these two sides, we're off to a penalty shootout to find out who will face Argentina in the final quarter-final Sunday morning UK time. The final round of 16 game, well, penalties are bound. It's Switzerland 0, Colombia 0. No goals in 120 minutes, but a penalty shootout is just ahead of us. Join us shortly for that said penalty shootout. After 120 minutes of football couldn't separate these two sides, we're off to a penalty shootout to find out who will face Argentina in the final quarter-final Sunday morning UK time. The final round of 16 game, well, penalties are bound. It's And it is a warm welcome back to this evening's unofficial independent off-tube studio commentary. Well, we've got all the action because we've played 120 minutes of football, 0-0 between Switzerland and Colombia. What a game we've had here. So much tension in this game, tired legs, penalties, are abound. No goals in 120 minutes. The ball didn't hit the back of the net. Well, I'm hoping the ball does hit the back of the net a few times from these penalties, of course. Well, Colombia won the toss twice, so they will not only be going at the end, they want to in front of all the rabid South American fans, the Colombian fans in the back. I can imagine there's just fans everywhere in the BC Place Stadium in Vancouver. But it will be them to take first as well. Quintero, the man who came on for James Rodriguez. The winner of this will face Argentina in the quarter-finals. It'll be an all-South American affair, or will the Swiss roll on to face Argentina in the next round? Quintero against Cobel. It's a long run up from the Colombian midfielder. Left-footed effort. Quintero steps up and he puts it right down the middle. Cobel goes to his left-hand side. Quintero gets the better of him. It's myself, Lewis Raftery, joined by Nathan Wastel. I'll be taking you through all the Colombia penalties. Nathan will take you through all the Swiss penalties. And again, I'll pass you over to Nathan.
Thank you. Yeah, if you take him first, it's important you get off to a good start. Took a bit of a risk, went slightly central. If Cobel went the other way, he may have just saved it with his legs, but the important thing is it hits the back of the net. That's the most important thing when you're stepping up for these. And we're just going to see who's going to take the long walk for the Swiss to try level this up. And it's going to be the captain. Captain fantastic, nearly threw the game with the mistake towards the end, allowing that man and the substitute to come in. But the captain is going to step up. So reliable, the number 10. I don't think there's many more. You'd want to step up first for a penalty. It's Xhaka versus Vargas to get them back level. Or is Vargas going to get the better of him to give Colombia their advantage early on? Standing back, the whistle blows. The captain takes his time with his left foot from 12 yards to get Switzerland level. He steps up and he saved it into the roof of the net. It's 1-1, and I tell you what, he got a hand on it, the keeper. But he was unlucky and he's batted it into the top of the net just for a second. Hearts in mouths there for the Swiss. Just looked like he did enough, and he put an arm up late, but he didn't get enough on it, and it's 1-1.
It just wasn't strong enough of an arm, was it? So close. You could see everyone for a Switzerland jersey, the bench, big sigh of relief there as soon as it was in the back of the net. Murat Yakari, you see him just go, oh, thankfully. That found the back of the net. Big moment. Xhaka comes up to a 1-1 skipper to another. Davinson Sanchez, the former Spurs man, will step up. Well, what a tournament he's had as a defender. We've seen former defenders. Harry Maguire sticks out in my mind as taking them. And I feel this is either going to be a stroke of genius or one we will look back on and talk about for quite a while if it goes wrong. Sanchez sets the ball down. Cobel trying his best, I think, just to get off his line and play mind games. He's moving about. Is the Swiss shot stopper. Sanchez steps up. Captain's armband on. Can he put this penalty to put them 2-1 up in the shootout? Sanchez, it's off the bar and it's going to bobble wide in the end. My word, did he get some power on that? Cobel went to his right, he put his laces, I thought it was just off the underside of the bar and it might have gone in. The power they got behind that, oh my, it's almost hit the surface and back up off of the bar. Of course, we will see, I think, a replay of goal line technology. We can tell from the pictures anyway. The officials will see that it's not over the line. I mean, that's a questionable one for Sanchez. I don't know if he's put himself up. I don't know if others didn't want to pull himself up. But now an opportunity for Switzerland to take the advantage.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, sending your centre-half up so early.
Yes.
I feel like they've got other options, but they're sending a striker up in Amdouni, the substitute, to give Switzerland the advantage early on. They have a really big chance here to get themselves in front from the second kick. Amdouni with a pretty straight run up. You think he's going to go left onto that right foot. A long wait. He shifts onto his left, Amdouni, and he stutters. He goes for goal, bottom right-hand corner. No mistake about it whatsoever. Very calm. Keeper goes the wrong way, and he gets the job done. And it's advantage Switzerland.
We'll see Lachimi come up now. Let's wait and see. We've already seen one centre-back come up. Let's see who will be the other. Those Swiss fans in red and white, they're the ones celebrating right now. We've still got a long way to go. I covered the Germany-Paraguay penalties. That was back and forth and back and forth. But it is advantage Switzerland. 2-1 on penalties. It will be Campas who missed that big chance at the end of the game as well, pulling that one over. You'd have to say, because Lucchini's header was from a set piece and open play, he by far had the best opportunity, the substitute. Campas, the left boot of Quintero's already beaten Cobel Campas steps up with his left boot, and it's under the goalkeeper. He goes the right way. Credit to Corbell, but Campas hits it low, drives it hard. That's the response you want after going down on penalties. Vargas gives his teammate a high five. He's just unfortunate, Corbell. If he dives a little bit lower, he gets that.
That distills into the facts you made when we covered the Argentina game, when Messi put it at the right height for him, and you said if he went low, it may just end up in the back of the net. It's similar there. Well, one centre-half missed, and we've got another in Manuel Akanji. We know he can take spot kicks, but it's a centre-half once again. One's already missed for Colombia. It's a chance for the Swiss to keep that advantage. And he's going to step forward. He takes the mud out of his studs, and he's going to step back to take this one. Can he keep Switzerland's advantage? They've been 100% from 2 kicks already, and it's going to be a third now for the number 5. The whistle blows. He steps forward, creeps forward, goes for goal. He's put it over the top. He's leant back, and the centre halves are the story of this game. One's rattled the underside of the bar, and then he's not even hit the target. He's leant back. It's a really sloppy technique. And after 3 shots apiece, it's at 2-2, and we're back as we started.
I mean, I said it was the red and white that were celebrating. Now it's the yellow blues that are celebrating. As you said, he's leaning back.
He's fallen over it.
I know hindsight's a great thing, but I felt confident. Then his run-up didn't give confidence. Yeah. It was that slow. Didn't get power behind it. You said the story of the penalties has been centre-backs. Well, you're spot on there. Now it'll be the substitute Hernandez, the Real Betis man. Can he put his side in front on penalties and put all the pressure back onto the Swiss? Corbell against Hernandez. Hernandez steps up with the right boot, and it's saved by Corbell. I think that's a good penalty and just a better save there. As soon as Colombia have the opportunity to take the advantage, put the pressure on the Swiss, Corbell steps up with a big time save, and now the momentum rolls back the way of the Swiss.
It's a brilliant save. It is. And he's wrapped it. It's not a bad penalty. It's just a really good save. He's a cracking keeper. And now the advantage may just swing back to the Swiss. He looks to the heavens, Kucha Hernandez. He hit the target, unlike the other 2 misses. And well, deep into this one, it's Switzerland again to regain the advantage. Another substitute in Itten, the big striker. Didn't have much to do on the ball in the game. Well, now you've got a massive opportunity on the 4th kick to give Switzerland the advantage to the number 26 against Vargas. Can they restore their advantage, the team in red? The whistle blows for the number 26. Can Vargas be a hero for Colombia? He can't. It's right at him, and he's dived out the way. And it's now pressure on Colombia, and they have to score or they're out of the World Cup.
Spot on. That's a great penalty, I thought, right down the middle. You don't see him enough, I don't think, down the middle. Confidence there. The goalkeeper, even if he leaves his leg up in the air, his camera's focused right in on Manuel Akanji because his blushes have been spared. Now who's going to step up for Colombia? That is a big question, as Nathan rightfully just said.
Surely.
You've got to think they've waited for the big man. You are 100% correct, Nathan. Score, take it to the next one, put the pressure on the Swiss. As Nathan rightfully said, miss. And it will be Switzerland against Argentina in Kansas City. The Bayern Munich man, the main man you'd say now, with James Rodriguez's prime past. Great season at Bayern Munich. Can he score against Corbell? Diaz steps up, stutters, sends the keeper the wrong way. Cool, calm, that's what Colombia need. Now the pressure is on Switzerland still. They need the keeper to save or a miss here. The pressure is on though. This is when we need big players to come up trumps. If Switzerland score, they're through. If Vargas saves or it misses, we go into sudden death.
Brilliantly calm penalty, wasn't it? He went the same corner that Cucho Hernandez did, but this time he goes the other way. Diaz, big player, big moments, kept them with their hopes alive. Ruben Vargas, another substitute, to send Switzerland through to play Argentina in the next round on early Sunday morning. He has the chance to send them through to the quarterfinals. They've been a story of the round of 16 for the last 3 World Cups. Can they finally make their way through at the quarterfinal for the first time since Brazil 2014? He has the chance to do it. It's Vargas versus Vargas, but which country is going to come out on top? He puts the ball on the deck. He takes a few steps back to the edge of the box to number 17. He takes a deep breath. It's been a slight wait, but the referee blows his whistle. He curls his run, he stutters up. Will he send Switzerland through? He will. He puts it in the bottom left corner. The keeper goes the wrong way, and Switzerland will go through to the quarterfinals for the first time in 12 years. They've kept their nerves where Colombia faltered at the end, and it's going to be Argentina versus Switzerland in the quarterfinal, and they go through on penalties after a 0-0 battle over 2 hours. But thank you for joining us all this way, and it'll be Switzerland versus Argentina in the quarters.
Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck!